Chapter 1369 Immortal Pellet. Chapter 1369 Immortal Pellet. Shi Yang released a flow of soul energy with the dark energy as the core. It stuck on the surface of the three-legged jade cauldron inside the asteroid. He jumped on the flaming crystal cloud boat of the Heavenly Eye clan together with Audrey and then watched the asteroid with the cauldron inside enter a massive cave on Dragon Lizard Star. The massive three-legged cauldron didn't refuse Shi Yang's mark with the dark energy as the foundation. He could use his soul to connect to that wisp of energy that he had left. "We'll go this way." Ivelines was looking at that asteroid disappearing and yearning. Then, he pointed to a cave where the white bone battleships of the Dragon Lizard clan were anchored. Some Dragon Lizard warriors were waiting for them there. There were many strange-shaped battleships and war chariots carrying the members of the alien tribes and getting into the Dragon Lizard clan's territory through the caves. There was no clouds or mist surrounding Dragon Lizard Star. This entire planet was exposed directly to outer space. Many caves on the surface of the planet were sucking in the asteroids while the clan was using some small caves to pick up the visitors and deliver them into the planet. We will go into the star directly like that." Audrey was astounded. Imperial Dark Tribe lived on the surface of God-blessed mainland. They didn't live underground where there was no sunshine. With her mindset, she thought that they would land on the surface of Dragon Lizard Star. However, she found that those peculiar aliens directly went into the hollowed Dragon Lizard Star through the caves. She was very surprised. Of course. The surface layer of Dragon Lizard Star is filled with fragments and debris from broken stars. The Dragon Lizard clan has never fixed or leveled them. They just live inside the planet, Ivelines explained naturally. Shortly after, their flaming crystal cloud boat approached the entrance. Moshe slid the ring off her wrist to show the guards. Ivelines talked to the guards and they allowed them to pass. The flaming crystal cloud boat moved through a grey area that was like a vacuum and then fell into a massive abyss. That abyss was like a marvelous, imposing valley with round walls where there were so many caves. The members of different races were moving in and out those caves. Inside the valley, there was a flat parking lot. Their flaming crystal cloud boat landed in between so many differently shaped battleships. After a Dragon Lizard warrior checked their pass token, he called another guard to bring them to where they would be staying. The guard took them to one of the caves they had seen on the way there. After getting inside, they found that the cave was pretty spacious with many rooms of different sizes. This cave had cultivating rooms, bathrooms, and even a chamber to refine tools. Basically, it had all the things they needed. The members of the Dragon Lizard clan dwell inside the caves. Because this Dragon Lizard Star was formed by broken stars and asteroids, it doesn't have surface or any floras. It has only fragments of broken stars and cosmic dust forced to stick together. Anyway, the members of the Dragon Lizard clan like rocks. They even have rock-like skin. They love to live inside the caves. After the guard left, Ivelines smiled and explained. Their cave was situated on the side of the round wall. Shi Yang observed and found that this area was like a massive teacup. The bottom was the parking yard where they had anchored the battleships and war chariots. The wall of the cup was dug to make many rooms to accommodate the visitors. They pulled themselves together to observe. They found that the areas next to them and opposite of them had many living beings like them who were discussing with each other in a strange language. Although he had used the seal of memory he got from Moshe, Shi Yang couldn't understand what they were talking about. Those creatures were using their special language that Shi Yang didn't have in his memory seal. Staying in those caves were many creatures with intimidating auras. Most of them were at original God Realm, ethereal God Realm or incipient God Realm. There were some Immortal Realm experts, but they were at first sky of Immortal Realm. Shi Yang didn't sense the aura of any second sky of Immortal Realm expert. The members of the Dragon Lizard clan acted because the receptionist had just ethereal God Realm or incipient God Realm. They had arranged the visitors from different clans to rest and recover in their cave accommodation. Around 1,000 people. Around 10 warriors have reached first sky of Immortal Realm. Audrey squinted and released her soul consciousness. Shortly after, she realized the strengths of everyone and became surprised. Oh, their realms aren't really profound. Ivelines was aghast as he looked at her. You've just reached first sky of incipient god realm. How can you see so many things like that? Audrey didn't answer. Ivelines was startled. He didn't dare to look down on her anymore and explained, it's just an accommodation here. The Dragon Lizard clan has many areas like this. They preserve some special areas for intimidating clans. Oh, you can say that it like this. Our area is the place for the third-class races. Previously he didn't respect Audrey as he thought that Audrey was inferior to Shiyang. At first sky of incipient realm, she wasn't really worth mentioning. At his realm, he couldn't see and analyze the realms of warriors in this area. Audrey could do that with a flicker of her soul. It astounded him a lot. That was how he knew that Audrey wasn't just an ordinary warrior. He had to be careful when talking to her. There are many similar areas. Audrey's cold face had a tint of fear. Of course. You see the warriors of the water tribe, right? Since they have a better relationship with the Dragon Lizard clan, they are better accommodated. If the members of the Soul clan and the other 6 great clans come, the Dragon Lizard clan will treat them as the most distinguished guests. They will have the best treatment and the seniors of the Dragon Lizard clan will have to welcome them personally, said Ivelines with a little dejection. Their Heavenly Eye clan was just a third-class race. They weren't even as strong as the Dragon Lizard clan. Of course, the others weren't going to appreciate them. Having a lodge was good enough. Anyway, they felt regretful and dejected. While they were talking, the members of the other races were staying and discussing in their caves. The Dragon Lizard clan took more and more visitors, arranging them to stay in different caves. By the anchored battleships, there was a massive jade platform like a lotus. Some warriors were sitting by the edge of that platform, lowering their heads and discussing. They had some cultivating materials, pellets, wood logs, scriptures, and even rare crystals. What's that? Shiyang pointed at the lotus-like platform. After the members of different clans came, they need time to adjust and prepare. Dragon Lizard needs more time to finish his meal anyway. The festival will be held when most of the guests arrive. Before that, we have to wait in our cave. Of course, the Dragon Lizard clan has some other arrangements. That lotus platform is set up so the members of different clans can have a place to trade cultivating materials. Anyone with extra weapons or weapons they don't use can exchange there. Ivelines smiled and paused for a while. Then, he continued, most of them are interested in the immortal pellet of the Dragon Lizard clan. I take my sister here with the hope of getting one immortal pellet. Of course, it's unpredictable if we can have one. Immortal pellet? Audrey looked moved. What do you mean? Ivelines looked at Moshe and said, my sister is at third sky of incipient god realm. If she gets an immortal pellet of the Dragon Lizard clan, perhaps she can break through to the immortal realm. In this vast cosmos, this immortal pellet is a magical item, indeed. Even the 7 great clans don't have extras to preserve. Hearing him, Shiyang looked thrilled. He shouted, it can help break through to the immortal realm? How can it do that? It's impossible to reach this spectacular realm with only a pellet. If you knew how hard it is to refine an immortal pellet, you would believe it. Ivelines gave a forced smile. How to refine immortal pellets is still an unsolved riddle. There is a rumor that says that only the absolute beginning creatures know how and only the experts at the territory ancestor level can refine them. The immortal pellet requires at least one level 7 life star with billions of lives as the foundation. The territory ancestor experts have to refine the entire life star with billions of lives on it and resize it to the size of a pellet. The level 7 life stars and billions of lives on it together with the earth and heaven energy there form the immortal pellet, which can deceive the hand of the creator to help experts reach immortal realm. Ivelines didn't mind how Shiyang and Audrey looked aghast. He continued, of course, the pellet will just increase the chance for the peak of incipient god realm experts to enter the immortal realm. It's not definite, you know. It depends on the innate talents and foundation of that person. Well, many people died immediately after using the pellet and failed to break through. Pausing for a while, he observed around them and then talked in Desolate Territories language. I heard that Lizard, the absolute beginning creature, was gone because of refining the immortal pellet. He left to find a level 7 life star with billions of lives in another territory outside to refine the immortal pellet. No one knows what he had experienced. He was gone. Dragon Lizard had to use the link in their blood and a lot of time to find his remains with around 10 immortal pellets. Dragon Lizard didn't know how or why Lizard died. It remained a riddle until now. Listening to Iveline's, Audrey paled. Using billions of lives and a level 7 life star to refine a pellet. Lizard was absolutely crazy. To refine this immortal pellet, he had massacred so many lives just to create a new immortal realm expert. That's why the immortal pellets are priceless. Of course, the refining method is almost lost now and not many people are crazy enough to do that. That's why the immortal pellets have attracted a lot of creatures to come here. It's because of its marvelous and miraculous effects. The Soul Clan is trying to persuade the Dragon Lizard Clan because they want to know the refining method from Dragon Lizard. Unfortunately, Dragon Lizard said that he doesn't know it. The Soul Clan thinks that he just wants to conceal the secret though. How many pellets does Dragon Lizard have? Shi Yang suddenly screamed, his eyes bright. I want to break through to the immortal realm fast. Otherwise, it will be a huge struggle to move forward in this vast sea of stars. I must have one of those immortal pellet. Chapter 1370, Forefather Dragon Lizard. Chapter 1370, Forefather Dragon Lizard. Somewhere inside Dragon Lizard Star, there was a spacious bubbling lava pond with a surging flaming fluid. It looked like a massive heart that burned until it became red. Countless rocks around the pond melted into liquid. Cracking and crunching sounds echoed from the lava pond as if there was a giant beast eating something deep under the pond. The asteroids moved through the cave channels and poured into the lava pond. Among them was an ordinary rock that moved with the flow. That asteroid concealed a divine weapon from the absolute beginning era. At this moment, that asteroid glided with the other asteroids and fell into the heart-like lava pond. Flaming fluid splashed everywhere. No one could see the massive three-legged cauldron inside the asteroid. When it fell into the lava, it suddenly shrank billions of times and became a small light dot. After an unknown time, the asteroids no longer came. 5 members of the Dragon Lizard Clan at Second Sky of Immortal Realm emerged from a cave next to the pond. They stood respectfully by the lava pond, lowering their heads and calling for the Forefather. Not long afterward, the lava boiled when a figure emerged and flew out of the scorching pond. He didn't look very different from the other members of Dragon Lizard Clan except for his skin, which was like a scarlet rock full of rock patterns. Anyway, it wasn't his real body. It was a clone made of his power and soul. His real body was still sinking in the lava pond in the deepest area of Dragon Lizard Star. Forefather, when the 5 experts of the Dragon Lizard Clan saw him, they greeted him respectfully. Dragon Lizard had thick, strange red hair and a red beard. Each of his muscles was filled with exploding power. The energy in this clone wasn't a joke. He looked at the 5 experts and his voice was like thunder. You came here all together. Someone important came? Forefather, Commander Singh of the Soul Clan arrived, said a Dragon Lizard expert. Oh, Singh came early this time. Dragon Lizard's eyes were very dark. Pondering for a while, he said, my real body has just finished a meal. I still need time to digest. Singh came here this time for the old stuff, I suppose. They want us to unite with their Soul Clan. Forefather, it seems like uniting with the Soul Clan will do us no harm, said that expert. No harm? Dragon Lizard snorted. You think the Soul Clan is easy to live with? Once we unite with them, we will be tied all together. They will control us. We won't have our freedom anymore. Singh wants to unite with us because of the immortal pellet and the method to refine the pellet. Too bad. Forefather, you're at peak of immortal realm. You're just one step away from the territory ancestor level, but you haven't mastered the dark energy to become a real territory ancestor. If we don't give them our answer, will the Soul Clan trouble us, said another expert. Dragon Lizard wore a heavy face. While staying dormant, I've studied the dark energy. I think I still need a little bit more, but this barrier isn't something out of reach. The day I break to the territory ancestor level, we won't need to mind the Soul Clan's attitude anymore. Pausing for a while, he said, "we still have the 3 immortal pellets from our ancestors. I hope that we can use them to exchange for something related to the dark energy. You guys spread the news that we will prioritize any scripture, treasure, or technique related to learning the dark energy to exchange for the immortal pellet." The 5 clansmen of the Dragon Lizard clan nodded respectfully. They understood that it depended on the existence of the territory ancestor expert in the clan that a second-class clan could become a first-class clan. Only a tribe with the territory ancestor expert could have a solid foundation in this sea of stars. Sing came here a little early this time. It's not like him. Besides him, are there any representative from the superclans? Asked Dragon Lizard. Not as of this moment, the others shook their heads. Okay. After I digest, I can use my soul to cover the entire Dragon Lizard star. I can see every commotion on this planet when that happens. But now, I need you guys to watch them closely. Release the news and tell them that we will prioritize the ones who know about the dark energy to exchange for the immortal pellets. Those with good information can come and meet me directly, Dragon Lizard ordered. The 5-second sky of Immortal Realm nodded respectfully and then left. After they had left, he frowned and looked suspiciously at the lava pond. He mumbled to himself, "I did sense a feeble soul, but I couldn't find anything. Strange. Did I sense wrongly?" As he had a profound realm, when the divine weapon from the absolute beginning era came to his stomach, he could sense it. However, the massive 3-legged cauldron had shrunk like a small dot and its aura blended with the other asteroids so he couldn't find it. Inside a valley in Dragon Lizard Star. This valley was very different from the area where Shi Yang's group stayed. The entire valley was renovated to be luxurious and beautiful with many palaces. A group of Soul Clan members wore loose black robes that revealed only their pale faces. All of them were levitating. Their feet didn't touch the ground. They lodged in the palace underground but not in the caves. This entire valley hosted only members of the Soul Clan. There was no creature from any other clan here. The Dragon Lizard clan didn't arrange anybody else to lodge in this area and bother the Soul Clan. Apparently, as one of the 7 great races in this cosmos, they were treated much better than Shi Yang's group. Inside the Grand Palace, a sinister old man shrouded in a loose, black brocade robe was floating between many souls. Those souls had shapes of alien warriors and even beasts. There were thousands of them who gathered like a mountain full of souls. He hovered on the peak of the Soul Mountain and coldly looked at a warrior kneeling on the ground. What did the Dragon Lizard clan say? "Commander, sir. They said that Dragon Lizard hadn't finished his meal yet. They asked you to wait for a short time. He will come to meet you personally," reported the warrior of the Soul Clan. Harumph. Sing's face darkened. Dragon Lizard wants to make more time until he reaches the territory ancestor level. Ridiculous. It's not easy to enter the territory ancestor level. If he could use his power to break through, he would have done so already. I think he will use the 3 immortal pellets to seek aid to break through to the territory ancestor level. Well, just a dream to him then. Although the immortal pellets are precious, they're nothing compared to the power of the dark energy. "Commander, what should we do if he doesn't show a cooperative attitude this time?" asked the warrior of the Soul Clan. Sing wore a cold, malignant complexion. "It won't be easy for him this time. Our seniors are no longer patient. If he doesn't want to follow us, of course, we will have something nice to deal with him." He waved his hand to dismiss the warrior. He squinted. "All right. Leave. I need to stay quiet for a while." The soul warrior left. He flashed and then disappeared like a dispersing soul. Sing contemplated for a while, his soul changing. A departed soul emerged from the mountain of souls underneath him. That soul was lanky and it was twisting and flickering as if it was about to be extinguished. As soon as that soul appeared, it opened the mouth to swallow the dim, departed souls around. The vague figure quickly condensed and became real like dark clouds. A flame that was like a slithering spirit snake flew out of Sing's mouth and sizzlingly burned that departed soul. The soul that had just become real, distorted in agony. It struggled inside the flame and screeched mournfully. It looks like the flame of karma was burning its core. The soul faded again. "Ming Hong, do you want to talk now?" Sing sneered. Where is the entrance to desolate territory? As long as you tell me the truth, I assure you that I will set your soul free and give you a good place to come. The soul became vague like a dispersing cloud. His misty face turned to Sing, his voice feeble. You shouldn't think about it anymore. Even if my soul seal vanishes, I will never tell you where the entrance to desolate territory is. If my power Upanishad wasn't so strange, you would have refined me for a long time and used your special soul technique to extract my memories. Well, unfortunately, you know that once I lose my memory, my soul will disperse. You will get nothing from me. Why do you need to do that, Ming Hong? Desolate, the absolute beginning creature, is the territory ancestor level of desolate territory, but its body is divided now. When our soul clan subdues desolate, your destiny won't be controlled anymore. What good is it for you to hold on to that secret? Frowned Sing. Ming Hong gave a dejected smile. So you think I don't know your working principle? If I tell you the entrance to desolate territory, billions of living beings in our territory will become your soul energy. Will you leave anyone alive? No. Haha. I'm desperate now. If you want to destroy my soul, just do it. Anyway, you shouldn't dream about getting to know the gateway to desolate territory. Well, even if you want to die, it will not be easy. Sing grinned. The flame suddenly became fiercer. Ming Hong's weak soul form was burning and becoming distorted. He shrieked and screeched in this extremely cruel torment. Ming Hong, wait and see. I will find the entrance to desolate territory. I will make you watch our soul clan refining desolate and destroy all creatures in desolate territory. I want you to see. No one can resist our clan. Sing laughed arrogantly, his imposing aura increasing. You better find it before desolate wakes up and unites its body. Otherwise, when desolate comes back, it will make your soul clan live in calamities. I also want to see who will seize the victory in the end. Even though he was screeching, Ming Hong still managed to retort. It seemed like he knew that Sing wouldn't eliminate him. Oh, so you think that it's easy for wounded absolute beginning creatures to fully recover? Mwahahaha, don't worry, it won't. I will show you. Without your direction, our soul clan will still find desolate territory and refine desolate. Pausing for a while, Sing continued, if we can refine it, I can learn and control the dark energy. I can reach the territory ancestor level. I will become a new existence at the territory ancestor level in my clan. Ming Hong, wait and see. I will enter the territory ancestor level faster than anyone else. Snorted, he continued, Dragon Lizard is stubborn. He thinks it's easy to get into the territory ancestor level. Our clan has experts at the territory ancestor level, but I've been stuck for many years. He's just a daydreamer when he says he wanted to enter the territory ancestor level too. Chapter 1371, Trade for Items. Chapter 1371, Trade for Items. Many creatures from different clans were sitting neatly on the jade platform in the middle of the valley. In front of them were the special cultivating materials they wanted to sell or trade. Most of them were rare and precious, and they included jades and crystals, divine weapons, sets of armor, and more. All of them were fabricated exquisitely. Those cultivating materials were lustrous and colorful. The warriors wanted to use them to exchange for suitable cultivating materials. This was an open exchange area that the Dragon Lizard clan had prepared for the visitors to exchange items while waiting for the celebration. At this moment, Shi Yang, Audrey, Ivelines, and the other two were walking around the area. Their eyes were bright when they were watching the items. Heavenly wood stone, undying lotus throne, devouring soul silk. Oh wow, they are all priceless items. Audrey's eyes brightened as she said, in our place, those things are rare and special items in the market. Even Desolate couldn't produce them. I didn't expect that they could trade them freely here. Iveline smiled and then explained, Desolate territory is just a remote area. People don't even know where the entrance to the territory is. This immensely vast universe has many territories. Only the real top warriors come to this sea domain of nihility. Thus, most of the warriors traveling around the sea domain of nihility are top warriors in their respective territories. Of course, the items they have aren't ordinary. Pausing for a while, He pulled a serious countenance and said, "Moreover, the sea domain of nihility was formed by so many broken territories after absolute beginning era. Many strange areas still have precious treasures from that era that are even more than what we're looking at here. If we get to the other areas, we can find more good items." Shi Yang nodded. He knew that this area was just a corner of Dragon Lizard Star, the area for third-class clans to stay. The forces or clans like the Water Tribe would be accommodated in better areas, and the exchange zone there would have more rare and priceless items than this area. We mostly use items to exchange for items in this area. They rarely use divine crystals to buy or sell. In this vast universe, there are many divine crystal lodes. Thus, divine crystals aren't scarce. They need cultivating materials that suit them well. "Pay attention and you will know what they want to exchange for their goods," said Ivelines. The trading zone was like a complicated market with many sellers and buyers. The aliens walked around and shopped. When they found suitable materials, they stopped to talk to the sellers. If they got what the other wanted, their transaction was done smoothly. Listening to Ivelines, Shi Yang and Audrey looked around and found that most of the sellers spoke popular languages to write the items they wanted to exchange for. The alien who sold the heavenly wood rock wanted to exchange his item for materials suitable to lightning and electrical power Upanishad. That warrior had second sky of incipient god realm cultivation base. The energy fluctuating from him was clear lightning. Evidently, he cultivated lightning and electrical power Upanishad. After taking a walk around the area, Shi Yang and Audrey saw many things, but didn't find anything suitable to them. Thus, they continued to walk and watch. "You guys should walk around and see. We're going over there. See you at where we are staying later." Ivelines suggested that they should part. Shi Yang and Audrey didn't oppose this. After that, the three experts of the Heavenly Eye clan headed to another area. Shi Yang and Audrey walked shoulder by shoulder. Sometimes, they talked as if they were a couple. There were so many aliens here. Most of them had humanoid features with some modifications. Some had curved horns, some had fearsome tails and long ears, and some even had strange patterned skin. Although they came from different races with different languages, they were speaking the popular language. Thus, their transaction didn't encounter a language barrier. 8. Audrey suddenly hissed and halted in front of an alien. Her eyes radiated strange light. That alien had wave-like blue patterns all over his body. He was a middle-aged man cultivating wind and thunder power Upanishad, as the others could hear faint noises of howling wind and rumbling thunder from his body. What had attracted Audrey was a pitch-black wine jug in front of him, which had clear soul energy fluctuations. With her special power Upanishad, Audrey sensed and she knew that the souls trapped inside weren't ordinary. Shi Yang secretly sensed and he got startled. He said, 3 souls at third sky of incipient god realm. Their consciousness was erased, leaving only the pure soul energy. Not bad. He knew that Audrey could use her power Upanishad to absorb the strong souls to increase her realm and power. It was the exclusive power Upanishad of Imperial Dark Tribe. That was also the reason why Ming Hao was the most suitable warrior to cultivate soul control power Upanishad. Soul control was the most magical technique in soul power Upanishad. I only trade them for things suitable to my power Upanishad. The middle-aged man's eyes opened a slit to observe Shi Yang and Audrey. He sounded disappointed as he hissed impatiently, "If you don't have it, don't shield the other's view." He was one of the several immortal realm experts in this trading zone. Seeing Audrey and Shi Yang at just incipient god realm, he guessed they didn't have anything nice to trade. Thus, he gave them an ugly face and asked them to move because they were standing and blocking the view of the warriors with treasures in wind class. Unfortunately, I don't have any item suitable for him." Audrey looked yearned. She whispered and then left. The 3 incipient god realm souls in that jug were really attractive to her. If she could merge them with her soul, she could break through to second sky of incipient god realm. The 3 souls at third sky of incipient god realm was an astounding amount of energy. They were an excellent tonic to her. Audrey's graceful body was about to move, but she found that Shi Yang didn't move. She was surprised, so she murmured to him, "We don't need to waste our time here. The wave patterns on the middle-aged man's skin surged. He rolled his eyes impatiently at Shi Yang. "Kid, what do you want? You want trouble?" Shi Yang grinned and touched his glabella. Around 10 strange rocks fell into his palm. Those rocks had so many round holes on the surface that emitted howling winds and rumbling thunder. The Wind Thunderstone was a magical stone that the Chen family in Thunder Firmament Star area used to survive. It had the power of thunder and wind. When the remains of the immemorial Thunder Dragon was dormant, his energy had connected to the star area barrier. After thousands of years, it began to produce this kind of stone. As Ledi cultivated lightning power Upanishad and had to deal with gusts of strong wind in that area, his remains had created the Wind Thunderstone miraculously and accidentally. The Wind Thunderstone was the most suitable cultivating material to the warriors with wind, thunder, and lightning power Upanishad. It could help them increase their power and boost them in understanding the meaning and abilities of their power Upanishad. That middle-aged man wanted to exchange for treasures in wind class or lightning class, but he had never expected to see the natural stone that had both attributes. When the Wind Thunder Stone emerged, his impatient face turned bewildered and then he smiled. "Hey brother, we can use these stones to exchange. Give me 10 stones and you can take this wine jug to give to your woman." They were 3 incipient God Realm experts who had chased after me that year. Too bad for them, I'd reached the immortal realm. I killed them and erased their consciousness. Now, they are just the pure energy, he smiled with his narrow eyes as he explained. When Audrey saw Shi Yang taking out the Wind Thunderstone, her cold, indifferent face became bright and happy. She blushed when the man misunderstood that she was Shi Yang's woman. She looked extremely beautiful and her neck was even red. The light in her eyes danced as she muttered something. She wasn't thick-skinned, so she felt that it was really awkward now. However, she didn't know what to do. "My woman," Shi Yang felt funny as he mumbled to himself. Then, he agreed with him and said, "Okay then, I'll take this jug. You keep the Wind Thunderstone." Laughing, he put the Wind Thunderstones down and his other hand picked up the jug containing the soul of the 3 incipient God Realm experts. He then threw one arm around Audrey's slim waist and walked away contentedly. "Bastard! Drop your hand." Audrey was blushing, her eyes lustrous. She glared at him. When she saw no one notice, she swayed away from his embrace. Taking a deep breath, she pretended to be calm. "I need this a lot. So, I owe you once. I will pay you back later." Then, she was so thrilled when she seized the jug from Shi Yang. Her eyes were bright when she spoke calmly. "There are 3 souls at 3rd sky of incipient God Realm in this bottle. I can break through 1 level. I could never imagine that someone would sell souls at such level. In our area, they were as strong as the chiefs of the God Clan's 12 families. This sea domain of nihility is indeed a terrifying area." Shi Yang laughed when she shoved him away. He swung his right arm that had just held her waist. His scorching eyes fell on her waist, teasing the cold and arrogant princess of Imperial Dark Tribe. "Oh, so you owe me, right? Yeah, how are you going to pay me back? You said that I'm the sort of guy that wouldn't be happy without women. I'm lustful. You and I are lonely here. We don't know anyone. Do you see what I'm saying? Should we become a little closer?" Audrey was bewildered. "So you're really that despicable? I thought you know that already." Shi Yang sounded surprised. You don't feel guilty to your women when you do that? I know that there are many women faithful to you on Grace Mainland. We haven't left for a long time. You want to betray them? Can you get over that challenge in your heart?" said Audrey sternly. Shi Yang rose his brows. A dark gleam appeared in his eyes. Staying quiet for a long time, he said, "No one knows what will happen later. I don't know if we can return to desolate territory or not. Perhaps they won't have a chance to see me again. I don't know if we can survive in this area, either. If I can have a nice day and live happily for 1 day, I will try to continue that way. That's all." The more he understood the sea domain of nihility, the more he recognized how small and powerless he was. The 7 great races had existences at territory ancestor level who could be compared to Desolate or Hui. There wasn't only one expert like that. He was just a weak warrior at incipient God realm. It was already a problem if he could survive until he found the way home. The complicated situation here had covered his soul and heart. He didn't dare to think about the future. He just considered how to survive the moment. Teasing Audrey was a way to relax his tense nerves and vent out his stress. The more he knew about stuff and people here, the more pressure he felt. Thus, he had an extreme desire to get the immortal pellet. He had made up his mind. He would pay any price to get the immortal pellets in Dragon Lizard's hand. He had to get one to reach Immortal Realm quickly. Chapter 1372, Fantasy Boundary Stone. Chapter 1372, Fantasy Boundary Stone. The sea domain of Nihility had so many alien races, and there were as many experts of those races as stars in the sky. The competition between them was always harsh. If Shi Yang didn't have the power to protect himself before he found the way home, it was going to be very tough for him to survive. He would be killed eventually. The Immortal Realm was an important advantage to increase his chance of survival. Thus, he needed the immortal pellet in Dragon Lizard's hand. He wanted to break through as soon as possible. Listening to him, Audrey looked pensive. She didn't continue the topic afterward. Putting the wine jug away, Audrey made up her mind. She would use the 3 souls in the jug to increase her realm. Shi Yang was distressed under the heavy pressure even though he had 3rd sky of incipient God realm. She had just 1st sky of incipient God realm. She needed to increase her power. Otherwise, she would need Shi Yang to protect her all the time. She didn't want to be a burden. As the princess of Imperial Dark Tribe, she was the daughter of heaven in desolate territory. It was humiliating when she let a man protect her. I also want to see if I can find any treasure suitable for me. We can be assured if we get stronger. We're not sure about anything. We must be careful. Shi Yang frowned and then relaxed his mind. He sent his soul consciousness to see if he could find any materials that could help him. His soul consciousness rippled like waves, slowly expanding from him unceasingly. He looked disappointed as his soul consciousness had almost finished searching the trading area without a positive result. While he was about to give up, his soul was touched. A flow of magnificent space energy came to him from a remote corner of the jade platform. His eyes brightened. He didn't hesitate and walked directly toward that area. Audrey's eyes fixed on him. Seeing him walk away as if he got something, she hurried to follow closely behind him. Her elegant face had some strange gleam. Looking at Shi Yang's back, she sighed inwardly. No one knew what she was thinking in her mind at this moment. Shortly after, the two stopped by a corner of the jade platform in front of an ugly alien. She was an old woman with a warty face, skin like a toad. She had pointy ears and her hair grew lushly like wild weed. Her hair had covered her body entirely and made her look like she was hiding in a haystack. In front of her was a glass container that held 9 crystal jades. The jades didn't glow, and because the container had sealed them, they didn't emit any special energy fluctuation. The old woman didn't look up as if she was snoozing. After Shi Yang and Audrey had arrived, she didn't have any reaction. Audrey was gingerly. As soon as she came, she recognized a wisp of slithering soul consciousness like the tongue of a venomous snake creeping around her. She understood that even though the old woman didn't open her eyes, she was still watching them. Releasing her soul to sense, she became more gingerly. She shot Shi Yang a discreet look. Unexpectedly, the old woman was one of the warriors at 1st sky of Immortal Realm. The energy fluctuating from her body was really magical. It seemed like she could create illusions. Audrey found layers of illusions in her soul. She wanted to sink in them. Fantasy Boundary Stone. What kind of magical stone is it? Shi Yang asked all of a sudden. While sensing, he had found the strange space energy fluctuation. Thus, he followed it and came here. When he approached the old woman, he found a strange feeling that the 7 stones seemed to be able to create the 7 different worlds. Shi Yang was really curious. The old woman finally opened her eyes and spoke indifferently. The Fantasy Boundary Stone is useful to the ones cultivating space power Upanishad only. When they use space energy to activate it, the stone can become a small space. It's like a hot air balloon. The more energy you pour in it, the bigger it can be. A small stone can become a whole tiny world. Is it really that magical? Shi Yang was very surprised. The old woman snorted and pouted her lips. No, not really. The small world that the fantasy boundary stone creates can't last forever. It can remain for a while. Otherwise, why would it be called fantasy? This fantasy boundary stone can be used as a weapon to warriors cultivating space power Upanishad. They can use it to confine their enemies. Once they capture the enemies in that world, they can detonate it. It will kill or wound the enemies badly. Shi Yang's eyes brightened. He nodded and smiled. To what level of an enemy can it kill? It depends on the user, the old woman thought and then explained. As you have only third sky of incipient god realm, the world created by your god power may kill a warrior at the same realm or hurt a warrior at a slightly higher realm when you detonate it. You can even confine the immortal realm expert for a short time. Of course, what matters here is whether you can drag your enemy into that world or not. The fantasy boundary stone had never existed in desolate territory. Shi Yang had never heard about this stone before. However, listening to her explanation, Shi Yang was sure this item was suitable for him. After refining it, it could become a small world that he could use to imprison enemies, burst them, or hurt them. It wasn't an ordinary item, indeed. She didn't say what she wanted to exchange for these stones, Audrey reminded Shi Yang. Shi Yang noticed that there wasn't a sign of the things that the old woman wanted to trade. He was a little surprised. While he was about to ask about that, the old woman spoke up. What I need is related to this fantasy boundary stone. I need a warrior cultivating space power Upanishad to help me. The ones interested in the fantasy boundary stone are the ones cultivating space power Upanishad. Thus, I don't need to make any note. Releasing a flow of energy, Shi Yang chuckled. You see, I'm cultivating space power Upanishad. What do you need help with? The old woman lifted up her head to study Shi Yang for a while and then shook her head. Your realm isn't profound enough. If your teacher is here, perhaps he can help me. I can give you those fantasy boundary stones. Anyway, you don't have the capability to help me with what I want to do. What is that? Can you tell me a little bit? Shi Yang was surprised. The old woman hesitated for a while. Something flashed in her sleeve and a small lock shimmering in silver light appeared. This silver lock was as big as a hand, but it had so many carvings of fine spatial patterns. There were at least hundreds of small spatial formations carved on this lock. This space lock is sealed. The space inside the lock has something important to me. I don't have the key. I need a warrior with space power Upanishad to unlock it layer by layer. To unlock a spatial lock, you have to do it in one try. At your realm and cultivation base, you don't have enough power to do so. She shook her head and didn't try to be polite when she said that Shi Yang didn't have sufficient power. If your teacher or your friend is at the immortal realm, they can try. Anyway, I have to say that you can only get the fantasy boundary stones after you unlock it. If you fail, you'll get nothing. The spatial lock confined a small space. If it was forced to open or opened with the wrong methods, the lock would explode and smash that space. If the operator was rash, he could have to pay with his life. Only experts cultivating space power Upanishad could use the soul consciousness with space power and god power to solve the formations on the lock one by one. During this process, he could not pause. He had to finish them in one try. Otherwise, the magical space formations would change and create new complicated formations. The old woman explained everything to Shi Yang in detail because he cultivated space power Upanishad. She hoped that his teacher or his friend had sufficient power and they could bring her a little surprise. To solve the spatial lock, does it require a profound understanding of the power Upanishad and condensed god power? Shi Yang pondered and then asked. Yes, both of them. However, the pure and condensed god power is more important. Because if you have enough god power, you can last longer and you can have more time to think and solve it. Otherwise, even if you have a good grasp of knowledge, your insufficient energy will make you fail. The old woman understood the features of the lock well. Shi Yang nodded and indicated that he understood. He rubbed his chin and pondered, can we move to another place to talk? The murky eyes of the old woman brightened. The energy fluctuating from her became strange. A strange but pleasant aroma emitted from her ugly body. Shi Yang was stunned. The aroma was so delighted that it was like the fragrance of a charming, mature woman. It completely contrasted to her fearsome appearance. "If you don't mind, we'll go to my place to discuss," she invited. Shi Yang and Audrey exchanged looks. Shi Yang nodded with a smile. "Okay." The old woman wiped her hand and the container with the fantasy boundary stone disappeared. She stood up and walked out of the trading zone. As soon as she came to the area where they were allowed to fly, she flew up and headed to a place on the rock wall. Shi Yang and Audrey followed her. Shortly after, she brought them to a remote cave. This place was a lot similar to their lodge. It was spacious but plain. As soon as the two of them got inside the cave, the old woman set up a barrier to cover her lodge. After she was done, she said seriously, "Kid, do you have any teacher or precursor cultivating space power Upanishad? If he's here, please call them. As long as they can unlock the spatial lock for me, I will offer more than the 7 fantasy boundary stones. I'm sure I can delight him. What do you think about me?" Shi Yang smiled. She frowned and suddenly became outraged. "I don't have the time or extra energy to waste my time with you. You can leave now. At your realm and cultivation base, you can't solve this spatial lock." "Oh, you said that the god power is more important." Shi Yang curled his lips. He wasn't angry. He just rose one finger and pointed at the old woman. Radiant light shot out of his finger. So many space slits like torn ribbons emerged together with sharp space blades. When his finger pointed forward, they immediately thrusted toward the old woman. The space energy in them was so terrifying. The old woman's murky eyes radiated a dazzling starlight band. She sensed for a while and then hissed in surprise. "That's some really refined energy. Endless aura too. Kid, your realm is normal but your god power is really thick and condensed. It's not less than that of normal immortal realm experts. Yeah, I think you can try once." Chapter 1373 Unlock the Spatial Lock. Chapter 1373 Unlock the Spatial Lock. Inside the sealed cave, the old woman looked very thrilled. She walked to the cave entrance and contemplated. A powerful energy fluctuation rose, which combined a lot of different power Upanishads. Lightning, mist, wind, ice, and flame created many layers of barriers that covered the cave entrance like spider webs. Shi Yang focused and found that 13 strange formations had reinforced the cave entrance. Those barriers were invisible, so only the soul consciousness could see them. The sharp auras came from those barriers. Shi Yang had no doubt that even if Ivelines, Adams, and Misha came here together, those barriers would be enough to kill them at their spots. "No, it's not true." Shi Yang discolored. He looked frightened as he said, "Absolutely. You don't have only first sky of immortal realm. The energy hiding in those barriers was extremely terrifying. Let alone first sky of immortal realm experts, even second sky of immortal realm experts didn't have a big chance to survive. The power this old woman had performed was beyond the realm she had exposed. Evidently, she had concealed her real cultivation base." Audrey's face was cold, but she was actually anxious. Discreetly, she urged the god power. If the situation didn't go right, she was going to take action shortly. "Don't." Shi Yang's soul quivered. He hurried to comfort her with a forced smile. "If she wanted to kill you, it would take just a flick of her mind. Even if you use all of your power, you won't even touch her." The old woman laughed and gave Shi Yang an appraising look. "Kid, you have keen eyes. Don't worry. I mean no harm. As long as you can open this spatial lock, I will give you other gifts beside the 7 fantasy boundary stones. I'm sure they will delight you." Then, she turned to Audrey and frowned. "Your soul power Upanishad is similar to the Soul Clan. Are you related to them somehow?" While talking, her eyes changed dangerously. "Soul Clan?" Audrey shook her head. "I'm a member of Imperial Dark Tribe. My power Upanishad is related to the soul, but I have nothing related to the Soul Clan." "Good," she nodded and then snorted. "I hate every single member of the Soul Clan." Then, A light glowed in her palm. 3 round pellets were conjured. They were crystal-like and sparkling with abundant energy that fluctuated. She handed them to Shi Yang and said, "These are the congealing divine pellets of the mysterious Sky Clan. There is as much God power in each of these as a third sky of incipient God realm expert's body. You can absorb the energy from the pellets rapidly to recover. You should use them to unlock the spatial lock. Whether you succeed or fail, they are yours. I won't blame you if you use them all." Shi Yang looked shocked. They are good stuff, indeed. The pellets that could recover the God power instantly were rare. While fighting, when a person's God power was insufficient, just swallowing one piece would give that person full power again. It was greatly convenient, indeed. Absorbing and congealing energy from the divine crystal was a slow process, and it took a lot of time to recover the warrior's energy. It could never be compared to this sort of pellet. "Who are you?" Audrey was keenly looking at the old woman. The pellets that can give instant recover are priceless. Moreover, they are from the mysterious Sky Clan, one of the 7 great clans. You don't mind giving him 3 pellets just to break that lock. Your generosity startles me. Hearing her, Shi Yang was startled. He knew that this old woman should hold a high position and her identity wasn't ordinary. At your realm and personal competencies, you should have gone to bigger and better trading zones. You could have found warriors with stronger space power Upanishad. Why would you choose this zone? Shi Yang couldn't understand. You 2 juniors have a lot of questions. The old woman frowned, her face cold. Stop asking irrelevant questions. Take the congealing divine pellets. You should unlock that spatial lock for me now. This cave is sealed. No one can barge in. Don't worry. Just do it as best as you can. Then, she sat down cross-legged and closed her eyes. Apparently, she didn't want to continue the topic. Shi Yang got a good sense and he shrugged. Understood. He turned to Audrey and asked her to protect him. He didn't know her real identity, but he was sure that the old woman took this lock very seriously. Thus, before it opened, she was going to try her best to help him. Shi Yang got this clue from the 3 divine pellets she handed him. Taking a deep breath, he pulled himself together and looked at the spatial lock, one hand holding 3 congealing divine pellets. After a while, he grinned and swallowed one of the congealing divine pellet. A current of heat dispersed into countless flows and scattered to the veins in his entire body. The thick God power was triggered. Instantly, the energy in his entire body was brimming. He had a feeling that if he didn't vent it out, he would explode. So much energy. He couldn't help but shout, his voice thundering and shaking the cave. The old woman opened her eyes and looked at him. She snorted and then pouted her lips. "Kid, you're very careful. You thought that I would use the poisonous pellets to deceive you and it would burst you when you used one of those pellets to refill the God power. Yeah, it seems like you didn't waste your years of cultivation. You know how to stay alert." As she said this, Shi Yang taking a pellet before taking action showed his caution. When his power was full and he took the pellet, even if it hid some problem, he would still have the power to counter. Also, if the pellet made something go wrong and he couldn't do anything, that old woman was going to protect his life if the lock wasn't opened yet. While being in foreign lands, he had to always be cautious. It wasn't a bad thing to do, anyway. When he realized that there was no problem with the congealing divine pellet as it made his God power surge torrentially, he smiled and condensed his God power. Instantly, the peculiar energy fluctuation of space power came from his body and rippled like waves that filled the entire cave. After the pure energy from the congealing divine pellet and the power in his body had blended completely, his energy had rocketed to an amazing height. Audrey was very surprised. Now, she finally knew how strong Shi Yang was. She sighed as she recognized the difference between them. Electrical beams flashed in the old woman's eyes. Her line of sight didn't switch from Shi Yang. She nodded discreetly, her hope getting bigger. Shi Yang's aura and energy surpassed ordinary first sky of immortal realm experts. At this moment, he could be compared to many outstanding warriors at this realm. Although it was because of the congealing divine pellet, Shi Yang's competence was really amazing as he could reach such a height. Good, very good. He's more excellent than some kids in my clan. Amazing. Where does this kid come from? He doesn't look like someone of the 7 great clans. Well, he's strange. Looking at Shi Yang, she contemplated and became more surprised and skeptical. At this moment, Shi Yang had to use his soul consciousness to cover the aura of the dark energy. He was using his normal power to get into the spatial lock. As soon as Shi Yang got into the spatial lock, he opened his eyes to an immense sky. That sky had so many holes, and each hole was filled with strange spatial formations. He needed to use his god power with space energy and his understanding of space power Upanishad to slowly solve them. After he could finish all the formations here, he could unlock the spatial lock. That's how he could open this locked world. His soul consciousness condensed the god power and moved like different rivers pouring into different holes in the sky. They moved around many spatial formations at the same time while Shi Yang was using his attainment in space power Upanishad for many years to understand the features of those mysterious and complex formations. Many of those formations had mixed with the space nodes, and some even looked like a mess of yarn balls created by unnatural, scattered lines. He had to solve, pull, and fix the lines, little by little. It was like a bundle of fishing lines integrating and twisting with each other. He had to slowly take them out one by one. Hundreds of spatial formations were hundreds of complicated riddles. At the same time, they were connected to each other. If he wanted to solve them, he had to do it at the same time. Otherwise, they would resonate with each other and create more problems. While solving the formations, Shi Yang's god power was being rapidly consumed. With the space power Upanishad as the source of knowledge, he sank into many spatial formations inside the lock. To do many tasks at the same time, it looked like Shi Yang had created many clones that worked in different formations. Shi Yang knew some of those formations, so it was easy to deal with them. Some other formations existed in Bello's memory, so he could solve them too. However, there were so many formations that he had never seen before. They were mysterious and complicated. While solving them, his understanding of space power Upanishad also widened. Once he solved a new formation, his understanding of space power Upanishad reached a new height. The process of breaking this spatial lock was also a test to his understanding of space power Upanishad. It was his new comprehension too. He had a premonition that this chance to open the spatial lock was an intensive lesson for him to study space power Upanishad. Those mysterious, unknown formations had opened a new, big door for him to immerse deeper in space power Upanishad. It took him to the world of power Upanishads. Now, his comprehension of space power Upanishad had reached a new height. Not only did his god power condense, but he also has the competence to challenge higher realm warriors. His capacity to understand the power isn't ordinary, though. This boy keeps surprising me more and more. The old woman who looked harsh and ugly suddenly opened her eyes to study Shi Yang. She was very astounded. Only the outstanding warriors from the 7 great clans can do that. He's not one of them, obviously. Why is he so strange? Strange. It's really strange. While thinking, she was moved. She looked at Audrey and pried. Which territory did you guys come from? Desolate territory, answered Audrey. Desolate territory. The old woman screamed in panic. It was the first time she changed her visage. Her senile body was shaken hard. Chapter 1374. Chapter 1374, The Life Soul Tree and the Upanishad Original Seal. Desolate territory is the territory created by Desolate, the absolute beginning creature. It was lost for so many years. Are you really from desolate territory? The old woman was stern when she looked at Audrey. She sounded as if she was scared. Why are you here? Inside the cave, Shi Yang held his breath and concentrated on condensing his god power. He gathered his spirit, chi, and soul into one beam and sent it to the spatial lock. He was using his magnificent will to break the marvelous spatial lock. We got lost. We came here accidentally. We don't know why we're here too. Also, we don't know the way home. Audrey answered. She didn't expect to see the strange reaction from the old woman. Pausing for a while, she turned to the old woman and asked with surprise. You look astounded when you hear about desolate territory. My friends from the Heavenly Eye clan said that desolate territory is isolated and remote. The language from that place is rare too. According to him, desolate territory is very normal and weak compared to other territories. Why did you have a big reaction like that? She pouted and said with disdain. Heavenly Eye clan? This sort of bottom clan has no knowledge. Besides the experts of the 7 great clans, not many people know about desolate territory. You don't know how you came here and you don't know how to go back. It's really. She took a deep breath, her face stern. For many years, the members of the 7 great clans have not given up searching for desolate territory with Power Upanishad original seal. The Soul clan and the Devouring clan are the most active in this operation. It's because only the 7 great clans knew how important desolate territory is. Audrey was surprised. How important is it? She looked at Audrey, her eyes containing something deep. Desolate is one of the strongest absolute beginning creatures. In this vast universe, you can count the number of the absolute beginning creatures that still exist with your fingers. Most of them are dormant, but no one has the guts to provoke them. Desolate used to have a fierce reputation. The 7 great clans know that it's damaged severely and its body is divided now. They know that desolate is in its weakest condition. Pausing for a while, she arranged her thoughts and spoke distantly. You know how important the wounded desolate is to the territory ancestor level experts. If they can refine desolate, the power of the territory ancestor level experts will increase massively. The expert at 3rd sky of Immortal Realm could get the dark energy to reach the territory ancestor level once they refine desolate successfully. I heard that desolate used to be super powerful. It was the rarest supreme existence among the other absolute beginning creatures. It has at least 2 absolute beginning divine weapons. When they refine desolate, they can take their divine weapons too. It's a great, irresistible enticement to any expert of the 7 great clans. 2 absolute beginning divine weapons? Audrey was stunned. One is called the Life Soul Tree and the other is the Upanishad original seal. They are magical objects evolved from divine weapons. The Life Soul Tree is very marvelous and unpredictable. It can derive new species from the tree with the deepest mystical abilities of the earth and heaven, which are the soul and life. The Upanishad original seal has countless power Upanishads in it. The one who can fuse that can comprehend the mysteries of so many power Upanishads. The Life Soul Tree is a giant ancient tree and the Upanishad original seal is like a sea with strange power Upanishads. As you're from a race living in desolate territory, your race should be a new species that desolate derived from the life structure of the Soul clan and created using the Life Soul Tree and its supernatural power. Thus, your physique is similar to the Soul clans. I think that the warriors in your desolate territory have mastered powers Upanishads like lightning, wind, ice, flame, and more. Those power Upanishads come from the Upanishad original seal. The old woman squinted. She eyed Audrey for a while and then slowly explained. Audrey was a little astounded. Her bright eyes were filled with surprise as she was immersed in her thoughts. Audrey believed everything that the old woman told her. Lately, she had visited Desolate when it opened. In the center of the holy mountain in the middle of Desolate, she saw a massive tree rooted into the earth. It was a very spectacular ancient tree, which had produced the Genesis fruit. That ancient tree was like Desolate's veins with magical, mysterious, vital functions. At that time, beholding the ancient tree had given her an extreme impression. And today, she knew that it was called the Life Soul Tree and was a divine weapon from the absolute beginning era. The tree could create new races and Imperial Dark Tribe was created using the Soul Clan, one of the 7 great clans, as the model. She also knew about the Upanishad original seal. As she was the master of the heaven flames and she had fused with God-blessed mainland, she could enter the fountainhead of power Upanishads freely, which was another divine weapon that the old woman had mentioned, the Upanishad original seal. The fountainhead of power Upanishads stayed right on Desolate. It was the source of all the power Upanishads and their principles. As it had fused with Desolate's soul, it had brought her and billions of creatures in Desolate territory many power Upanishads to choose and learn. Desolate territory had many powers Upanishads, so the warriors there had more options. Today, through this old woman, it was the first time she learned more deep information about Desolate. Singh of the Soul Clan is a top warrior. He has refined a soul of an expert from Desolate territory to be his brutal soul. He tortured that soul to find the entrance to Desolate territory. Singh is at the peak of Immortal realm. He has an exquisite cultivation base too. He has a good grasp of information about Desolate. If he can get into Desolate territory and refine Desolate to get 2 divine weapons, he can break through to the territory ancestor level and become one of the top existing experts of the Soul Clan. The old woman pouted her lips and snorted, "Too bad for him, that brutal soul is strange." Hay's soul seal merged with his memories. Once his memories are gone because of the soul extracting method, his soul will explode to death. Singh can't force that soul to give information about the location of Desolate territory's entrance without hurting it, but the territory ancestor level expert in his clan can. However, Singh doesn't want to share Desolate's marvel with anybody else, so he has concealed it. He wants to enjoy all things harvested from Desolate. What's the name of the soul that Singh has used to create his own brutal soul? Audrey asked hastily. Ming Hong something. He doesn't have a body anymore. He has just a soul form. While we fought against Singh, he had released brutal souls to attack us. Although Ming Hong couldn't act freely, he still has his consciousness. He disclosed the secrets to us with the hope that we could save him. Unfortunately, the old woman sighed, her face dispirited when she looking at the spatial lock. It seemed like the lock was keeping something very important to her, which made her worried a lot. That Ming Hong is a precursor of my tribe, said Audrey all of a sudden. The old woman was bewildered. Then, she smiled oddly. Oh well, you don't know the way home. Ming Hong knows but he won't open his mouth. Yeah, I have advice for you. No matter what, do not use Desolate territory's language to communicate anymore. Otherwise, when the Soul Clan finds you guys, this cute little couple will perish. Audrey's face reddened, but she didn't explain anything. Madam, if you fight against Singh, could you kill him? Kill him? The old woman shook her head bitterly. Because we lost, we have to hide. We're afraid of the Soul Clan. I don't know Dragon Lizard's opinion about this. However, I know that he has a good relationship with Singh. As we are in his Dragon Lizard star, we must be very careful. Audrey could confirm that this old woman wasn't an ordinary expert. She said that only members of the 7 great clans know about Desolate's marvel. She knew it too. Also, as she used to attack Singh, she was definitely a member of the 7 great clans. Because of her defeat and something else, she had to conceal her identity. While they were talking, Shi Yang sat still. The energy from him had all been sent to the spatial lock. Now, the spatial lock emitted magnificent halos and illuminated the entire cave. The old woman cheerfully looked at the Upanishad original seal with great hope and mumbled, "Excellent, kid. Really powerful. It seems like the old man can escape this time." The old man. Your partner is confined inside the lock? Asked Audrey. The old woman gave a forced smile and admitted, "We joined hands to attack Singh. To wound Singh, he was fatally injured. The spatial lock has a magical effect. If you stay inside the lock, your broken soul power won't scatter. The space inside the lock will reserve it. When he can stabilize his situation, he can gather his broken but not dispersed energy to recover quickly." She sighed and continued, "But when I used the lock to protect him, Singh attacked me. The key was smashed. My man is trapped inside the lock. I think he must have recovered already, but he can't break the confining space to get out. If the space inside the lock is broken, he will perish too. We can slowly open this lock from the outside. But I don't cultivate space power Upanishad, so." Audrey understood it now. If her partner hadn't been locked, she wouldn't have taken risks to come to Dragon Lizard Star. Dragon Lizard and Singh had a good relationship, so Singh could be in Dragon Lizard Star to join the celebration. Thus, she had to disguise herself and go to the third-class zones by using the fantasy boundary stones to attract the warriors with space power Upanishad. She hoped that someone could unlock the spatial lock to let her partner out. It was the reason why she had to take Shi Yang inside the cave and create more than 10 layers of barriers. She was also very generous to give Shi Yang the congealing divine pellet to help him open the lock. Apparently, she wasn't an ordinary expert. Her realm was profound and she was obviously rich, as she had promised them a big payment. Crack, crack, crack. Right at this moment, the spatial lock made cracking sounds and the fine space patterns on the lock's surface slowly exploded. Abruptly, the strong light beams bloomed. A magical space door slowly materialized. A tall figure walked out of the door. As soon as he emerged from the cave, he yelled, "Yun, what the heck are you playing? Why did it take you such a long time to release me? Oh, *t. That motherf Kasing didn't kill me, but you almost choked me to death." He was a slender man with high spirits and a shining bald head. He was gorgeously dressed in brocade robes with many seal characters and ancient marks. After yelling, he looked at the old woman and screamed, "How come you've turned into this?" The old woman sighed. Her body shook and she turned into an elegant woman around 40 years old. She still looked graceful, indeed. As the old man was yelling, she was a little embarrassed. Singh smashed the key of this spatial lock. I found a boy cultivating space power Upanishad to unlock it for you. Chapter 1375, Boldness of Vision. Chapter 1375, Boldness of Vision. When the old man and woman showed their real shapes, they didn't look different from human beings. They were different from the aliens with peculiar shapes in the trading zone. Audrey had soon guessed that the old woman had disguised herself. Thus, when she saw her in the appearance of a tender and graceful woman, she wasn't really surprised. While Shi Yang was breaking the spatial lock, his co-soul had discreetly listened to their conversation. He understood the truth, so he wasn't startled. "You're useless, woman. You made me locked there for a long time." The old man rolled his eyes and then turned to observe Shi Yang. He was surprised as he spoke. This little boy is at just incipient realm, but he can unlock the spatial lock? The woman he called Yun was smiling. They're from desolate territory. This kid doesn't have a profound realm, but his competence isn't bad. He just used one congealing divine pellet to open the lock. Pausing for a while, she turned to Shi Yang, smiling. "How do you feel? That spatial lock has so many marvelous formations with hidden mysteries of space power Upanishad. As you opened it, I suppose it was a great help to your realm?" Shi Yang bowed and greeted him. "With the mysterious power Upanishad knowledge inside the lock, it's enough for the payment this time. Moreover, I got a big harvest already with the remaining congealing divine pellet." Half of the hundreds of marvelous formations inside the spatial lock were something he had never seen before. His unlocking process was some sort of new cognition to this power Upanishad. He felt really good as he knew that his space power Upanishad had increased greatly. Thus, he thought that he was the one with the biggest benefit and it wasn't good to ask for fantasy boundary stones. "If I say I won't mistreat you, I definitely won't. People of our mysterious Sky Clan always keep our word." Yun snorted and snapped her fingers. 7 fantasy boundary stones flew towards Shi Yang. Shi Yang was perplexed for a while. He smiled. "Thank you." He rose his hand to grab the fantasy boundary stones. They disappeared into his incipient extent. He had stashed them in a special slot. If you want to use the fantasy boundary stones, you need to refine them once to imprint your soul seal into the stones. That's how you can control them, explained Yun. When she and Shi Yang were talking, the old man didn't say anything as he eyed Shi Yang. Suddenly, he flashed and grabbed Shi Yang's hand quickly. An extremely hot water current inundated Shi Yang's body. Shi Yang discolored. He immediately urged his power to prepare to counterattack. Then, he found that the hot stream wasn't harming him. It seemed to survey his body. He just frowned and did nothing. "Hey old man, what did you find?" asked Yun. The old man let off Shi Yang's hand. His eyes became complicated and showed a combination of inexplicable and even fearful feelings. After a while, he gave a forced smile. "You silly woman. You don't know how profound this kid's life form has reached. He's not weaker than us. Perhaps, he's one level higher than us, though. Yun was frightened. How could it be? Nothing is impossible. The old man took a deep breath. Then, he turned to Yang and introduced himself seriously. I am Tu Shi. She's my old wife, Yun. We're from the mysterious Sky Clan. We have the same realm, which is third sky of Immortal Realm. Nice to meet you. Yeah, also, if you're interested, on behalf of the mysterious Sky Clan, I can invite you to become our non-native officer of our clan. You will receive the benefits we have for our non-native officers. Hey old man, are you crazy? The non-native officer position in our clan isn't something he can be in charge of. No incipient God Realm expert is qualified to do that. If the seniors know you've made such an offer, they will think you have a mental problem. They absolutely won't approve that, cried Yun. In their mysterious Sky Clan, a non-native officer was a noble, high rank that only the super alien experts could hold. Each of the non-native officers of the mysterious Sky Clan had a special token to show their special identity. When they moved around the sea domain of Nihility or the other territories, they could receive exclusive treatments. All members of the mysterious Sky Clan considered them as distinguished guests. They received strange and rare cultivating materials periodically. They were able to learn and search many secret techniques and documents that only high-ranked members of the mysterious Sky Clan could learn. In the vast sea of stars, many experts at second or even third sky of Immortal Realm and the chiefs of the third-class or second-class clans weren't qualified to become non-native officers of the mysterious Sky Clan. Although Tu Shi had the authority to invite someone to be the non-native officer, he still needed permission from his seniors. If he acted rashly, his superiors would think that he shouldn't be in charge of such important roles. Thus, Yun was perplexed. She didn't know why her husband suddenly gave such an official offer to a boy at the incipient God realm. I'm not crazy. I'm placid and extremely lucid. I know what I'm doing. Tu Shi snorted and then talked honestly. As long as you nod your head, I'm sure you can break through to the Immortal Realm quickly. Although our clan doesn't have many immortal pellets left, I'm sure I can give you 2. Except for the Immortal Realm, I can give you 20 congealing divine pellets, girls, and lands in our star area. We can even give you a piece of land in the sea domain of Nihility. You're crazy. You must be crazy. How many immortal pellets does our clan have? They are to prepare our later generations in the clan. Do you think you can ask them for it? Yelled Yun. Audrey was also surprised. These two were from the mysterious Sky Clan, one of the 7 strongest clans in this vast universe. Also, they were at third sky of Immortal Realm. With their identities and competences, why did that old man suddenly act strangely and offer Yang such nice things? She couldn't make head or tail of it. Yang was baffled. He asked bewilderedly, "Precursor, is there anything you misunderstood?" Misunderstood? The old man laughed oddly, his eyes bright. This is an expert predestined to reach the territory ancestor level in the future. Is he worth our special treatments? Predestined to reach the territory ancestor level? Yun screamed ear-piercingly. And you said that you're not crazy. In this immense sea of stars, in countless territories, we can count the territory ancestor level experts with our fingers. You and I are at third sky of Immortal Realm, but we don't know how far we need to go to reach that realm. Perhaps we will never be able to do that. What qualities does he have? Dragon Lizard has been stuck in his peak of Immortal Realm for how many thousands of years? He doesn't have a chance to break through. This boy is predestined to enter the territory ancestor level. If he learned and controlled dark energy, Dragon Lizard should have broken through already. The toughest challenge to enter the territory ancestor level is to control dark energy. Tu Shi wore a stern face as he shouted in a low-pitched voice. He has dark energy. Listening to him, Yun shut her mouth. Her face was fearful when she looked at Yang. Tu Shi opened his mouth wide and laughed. This young fella is tender. He hasn't reached his maximum potential yet. Otherwise, I couldn't have found him. Your life form is already marvelous. And you know dark energy. As long as you could master combining complicated power Upanishads, an immortal pellet is enough to help you advance one step. Precursor, you have keen eyes, Shi Yang was convinced. What he admired were Tu Shi's keen vision and imposing manner. As soon as he found Shi Yang's mysterious features, he didn't hesitate to offer many excellent benefits like the non-native officer position, 2 immortal pellets, dozens of congealing divine pellets, beautiful ladies, and their lands in the sea domain of nihility. This old man was fiercely resolute, indeed. How could it be? How come? His at incipient god realm. How could he learn the dark energy? It's unfair. Yun muttered. She trusted her husband. Now, she finally knew why Tu Shi suddenly acted so crazily. A non-native officer who was predestined to enter the territory ancestor level was enough for her clan to pay such a big price. She immediately recognized her husband's boldness. What do you think? Tu Shi eyed Shi Yang. Right now, I can't accept anything. Give me time to think about it. Anyway, I'm sure I can agree with you one thing. If I want to choose any side among the 7 great clans, I will definitely choose the mysterious Sky Clan. Shi Yang looked pensive for a while and then answered. He was afraid that if he didn't give them a satisfying answer, Tu Shi would cruelly destroy him and Audrey. He could do that to prevent Shi Yang from turning to the opposite side against the mysterious Sky Clan when he got stronger. If that happened, what they got wouldn't make up for what they'd lost. You're cautious enough, but we're not the sort of people you think we are. No matter what, you saved me. Even if you don't accept my proposal, I won't harm you. Tu Shi laughed and patted Shi Yang's shoulder. You're a marvelous kid. I know it's really good for our mysterious Sky Clan to be friends with you. Anyway, the Soul Clan likes extreme deeds, but not us. It's our reputation. You'll get it later. Shi Yang smiled and didn't say more. Yun, what did you plan to pay him? Tu Shi turned around and asked. A set of armor our clan fabricated. No need, he shook his head. The rigid body of this kid is beyond your imagination. The armor can't help him much. Oh right. They're new here, so they don't know the sea domain of nihility yet. So. A bunch of silver beams bloomed from his sleeve. A brilliant compass emerged. He gave the compass to Shi Yang and said, It's our clan's heavenly fantasy star compass. It's a great compass to use in the sea domain of nihility with many landmarks. With this item, you will know which way to go, which places to avoid, and which forces the territories belong. Old man, you're too generous this time. This heavenly fantasy star compass isn't easy to produce. There are not many people who could keep it in our clan, said Yun. When she looked at her partner, she admired him more. The resolute boldness of this old man always made her admire him. This kind of attractiveness wasn't related to age and it was never going to fade. After receiving the heavenly fantasy star compass, Shi Yang's soul consciousness moved. His eyes sparkled beautifully. When his soul consciousness came inside the compass, he felt like he had just entered a miniature universe where he found many regions in the sea domain of nihility with detailed remarks about the special or dangerous features in the area. This star map was so lively and extremely exquisite. This was the best tool for him and it was also the top treasure that the other clans had yearned for. Novelful. Commander Precursor, your bold visions and imposing manner impresses me. Shi Yang held the heavenly fantasy star compass and said sincerely. His first impression about the mysterious Sky Clan was strangely good because of the married couple Tu Shi and Yun. Chapter 1376, Reflected Glory. 1376 Reflected Glory. The fantasy boundary stones, the congealing divine pellets, and the heavenly fantasy star compass were very extraordinary. A warrior cultivating space power Upanishad like him could create a small world to imprison his enemies after refining the fantasy boundary stone. He could even detonate it to kill or wound his enemies. The fantasy boundary stones were really useful. If he used it smoothly, he could even kill the immortal realm expert. The congealing divine pellets could restore his power instantly. He just needed to swallow one pellet to get abundant god energy. It was also an excellent tool in fighting. Of course, the most precious item was the heavenly fantasy star compass that the mysterious Sky Clan had produced. The group of stars in the compass represented the vast galaxies in the real world. With this compass, he finally knew which direction to go. He wasn't going to get lost anymore. Moreover, the heavenly fantasy star compass had detailed remarks and descriptions of each of the special areas. For example, the heavenly fantasy star compass had a paragraph written in the popular language to describe his current location, Dragon Lizard Clan's territory. This clan is a second-class race. Leader Dragon Lizard is the second generation of lizard, the absolute beginning creature at the peak of immortal realm. He just needs to understand dark energy to break through to the territory ancestor level. Dragon Lizard has a good relationship with Sing of the Soul Clan, but the real situation was unknown. The mysterious Sky Clan had similar descriptions for every area. When Shi Yang and Audrey traveled in the sea domain of nihility, they could know the general situation of others and the features of special areas to dodge dangers. With this compass, they could find safe routes. The value of these exclusive records of the mysterious Sky Clan couldn't be measured. To create a good relationship with Shi Yang, Tu Shiqi had gifted him the heavenly fantasy star compass. Shi Yang admired his boldness and wisdom a lot. Thus, his impression of the mysterious Sky Clan was extraordinarily good. Precursors, there's something we hope you could pay attention to. Audrey arched her brows. As the situation was right, she tried to talk to them. The brutal soul called Ming Hong that Sing has refined is a precursor from my tribe. He knows the entrance to our desolate territory. If you can kill Sing. Then, she turned to look at Shi Yang because she understood that Shi Yang's words were heavier than hers. Shi Yang was startled, but he reacted timely. He said sternly, "What my wife is talking about is also what I want to say. Ming Hong is an expert from desolate territory. He knows the entrance to the territory and we're lost. We don't know how to get back there. Through Ming Hong, perhaps we can find the way home." Yun had considered Audrey and Shi Yang a married couple right from the beginning. If he didn't clarify his relationship with Audrey, these two old people weren't going to take Audrey's words seriously. Audrey had only first sky of incipient god realm and she didn't have dark energy. To the mysterious Sky Clan, Audrey wasn't special and she couldn't draw their attention. As long as he associated Audrey with him, they would notice Audrey. Audrey was a smart woman. She knew that Shi Yang called her his wife just to make her earn respect from others. However, she had never been treated like that. For the time being, she felt anxious and annoyed, but her face was still calm and natural. She didn't clarify their relationship and just calmly accepted as if it was true. Indeed, Tu Shiqi, who didn't bat his eyes at her, was startled when Shi Yang called her his wife. He smiled until his eyes squinted. "Your power Upanishad is similar to the Soul Clan. You need powerful souls to increase your power." "Oh right. I happen to have some good souls. Take them as my welcoming gift." A lush green ball flew out of Tu Shiqi's sleeve. The wisps of soul twirled inside the ball. They could even hear the distant screams of the soul. The ball flew one round and then fell on Audrey. Audrey was shocked. She was baffled as she looked at the green ball. She pried, 5 souls at incipient god realm? Tu Shiqi grinned fiendishly and nodded, 2 first sky, 2 second sky, and 1/3 sky of incipient realm. Yeah, they are all members of the Soul Clan. Their souls are famous for being tough in the galaxy. I can't erase their soul consciousness. When I have free time, I torture them for fun. If you can extract their soul consciousness, it will benefit your realm greatly. The mysterious Sky Clan and the Soul Clan didn't get along well. Shi Yang got that from the fact that Tu Shiqi and his wife had attacked Sing. As Tu Shiqi was at 3rd sky of immortal realm, it was easy for him to kill incipient god realm experts of the Soul Clan. Tormenting them in his free time was also a way to vent out his rage. Shi Yang concentrated on sensing for a while, his face respectful. "This gift of yours is really heavy. We don't know how to thank you enough." The 5 souls of the Soul Clan were more precious than the 3 souls that Shi Yang had exchanged by the Wind Thunderstones because they belonged to the members of the Soul Clan with full memories and consciousness. If Audrey could refine them and extract the memory of the power Upanishad, she could get the knowledge of the special power Upanishad that the Soul Clan cultivated. The Soul Clan was one of the 7 great clans, and they always led people who cultivated soul power. Upanishad. Desolate had used the Soul Clan to create Imperial Dark Tribe, so they were very powerful. If Audrey refined the 5 souls of the Soul Clan, it would be possible for her to break through to the immortal realm. This gift to Audrey was really precious. He turned to look at Audrey and saw her soft body shivering. Her eyes brightened when her jade-like hand received the green ball. Then, she clutched his arm and beamed gorgeously. "Thank you for your precious gift, Precursor. I will help you control him. He will go the same way with your mysterious Sky Clan. You're a smart girl, haha." Tu Shi laughed loudly. To him, the 5 souls of the Soul Clan weren't worth mentioning. They were nothing compared to the heavenly fantasy star compass. However, they could benefit him by gaining a good impression from Audrey, which could affect Shiyang too. When Audrey refined the souls of the Soul Clan members, she would stand on the side against the Soul Clan, and so would Shiyang. They would become archenemies. If Tu Shi could create an enemy at the territory ancestor level for the Soul Clan, it would be a big favor to his mysterious Sky Clan. We will watch out for the brutal soul called Ming Hong. However, the chance isn't big, you know. When we join hands, we can only battle against Sing, but it's impossible to kill him. We're at 3rd sky of immortal realm only. He's at the peak of the realm anyway. We have to discuss more, said Yun. Audrey let out a low sigh. Shiyang had a wide vision. With the heavenly fantasy star compass, he wasn't afraid that they couldn't return to desolate territory soon. The sea domain of nihility had brought him many surprises. He thought that he could stay here for a while to cultivate to a more profound realm. After that, he could be more powerful when he returned to desolate territory. With his current competence, even if he could return to desolate territory now, he wasn't an equal match to any absolute beginning creature. Oh right, Precursor. Do you know how to refine the absolute beginning divine weapon? Shiyang pondered for a while and then asked. That 3-legged jade cauldron gave him a feeling that something was wrong. It had hidden inside the asteroids to fly here from somewhere unknown. At this moment, it should be inside Dragon Lizard's stomach. At his peak of immortal realm, how could he not recognize it? Obviously, that 3-legged cauldron got into Dragon Lizard's stomach on purpose. What did it want to do to him? Shiyang felt that it was really abnormal. The wisp of soul consciousness he had left on the cauldron faded. Soon, he was going to lose connection with it. Refine the absolute beginning divine weapon? Tu Shi was dumbfounded. Why do you ask that? Shiyang frowned. He hesitated for a long time before speaking. I admire and respect you for your boldness and wisdom. I will tell you what we saw on the way here. He told them about the 3-legged jade cauldron. He thought that it was impossible to refine that divine weapon from the absolute beginning era. As Dragon Lizard had swallowed it, he couldn't take it out or enter Dragon Lizard's body to refine it. He would rather know the profile of the divine weapon than refine it. After Shiyang had finished, Tu Shi and Yun were speechless for a long time. Their faces were aghast. Novelful. Commander, after a long time, Yun took a deep breath. It seems like the Soul Clan isn't nice to Dragon Lizard anymore. They have schemed against him. If Dragon Lizard doesn't show his viewpoint, he will be finished. Tu Shi looked pensive. Seeing Shiyang not get the idea, he said, if I'm not wrong, that massive cauldron is a marvelous treasure of a territory ancestor level expert of the Soul Clan. Sing borrowed it to deal with Dragon Lizard. It hid inside the asteroid to get into Dragon Lizard's stomach. Once Dragon Lizard doesn't want to follow them, that jade cauldron will suck his soul and increase its power. Dragon Lizard doesn't know this, I guess. Yun's eyes brightened. Hey old man, we got this kid's reflected glory to know this. If we tell Dragon Lizard about this now, will it make him join hands with us to deal with Sing? It's possible. Tu Shi was shaken. If we can persuade Dragon Lizard to join us and deal with Sing, and if we prepare well our ambush, it's a big chance to kill Sing. Ming Hong of your desolate territory will be freed too. Yun was excited as she rubbed her fists. If Sing dies, it will be a hard punch to the Soul Clan's face. If Dragon Lizard joins this, he will have to go on the same road as our mysterious Sky Clan. Little buddy, you're our lucky star. It seems like it was our fate to meet you. Tu Shiqi laughed and then said, yeah, we should meet Dragon Lizard to talk about this. Oh. Maybe you should do it, Shiyang. It's not convenient for us to show up there. Me? Shiyang was surprised. Yeah, you try it. Shortly after, the Dragon Lizard clan will announce that anyone who knows about dark energy can meet Dragon Lizard personally to exchange information for the immortal pellet. Dragon Lizard has been stuck in this realm for so many years. Even in his dream, he wants to know about dark energy to enter the territory ancestor level. Of course, his immortal pellet will be used at a crucial spot, said Tu Shiqi. Alright, I will run errands for you, precursors. Shiyang was moved, so he agreed with their suggestion. Chapter 1377 Lost. Chapter 1377 Lost. _18+. Tu Shiqi and Yun couldn't expose themselves before Dragon Lizard knew the dark scheme of the Soul Clan because of their special identities. Once they showed themselves, the Soul Clan would attack them and the Dragon Lizard clan could join that attack too. Anyway, on the surface, people knew that the Dragon Lizard clan and the Soul Clan had a good relationship, and so did Dragon Lizard and Sing. Before they tore their masks and revealed themselves to the Soul Clan, they would stay with them to deal with Tu Shiqi and Yun. Because of this, Yun had to conceal her identity and power and stay in the third-class zone. If they showed themselves before they could see Dragon Lizard, the members of the Dragon Lizard clan could possibly sell them out to the Soul Clan. Thus, Shiyang had to work on it. He would contact Dragon Lizard and tell him about the Soul Clan's dark move, which would make Dragon Lizard hate Sing. Then, they could carry out the next step. Because the delegations that were supposed to visit Dragon Lizard Star this time hadn't fully come, the Dragon Lizard clan hadn't held the festival yet. Also, they hadn't announced the requirement to exchange for immortal pellets. Tu Shiqi and Yun decided to stay in their cave and wait for Shiyang's good news. Shiyang and Audrey had left for a long time, so they didn't know the situation of the Heavenly Eye clan. They told Tu Shiqi and Yun the location of their cave and then bid farewell. They returned to the cave where the Heavenly Eye clan lodged, but Ivelines, Adams, and Misha hadn't come back yet. Without thinking a lot, they rested in the stone rooms and prepared to check their harvest while waiting for the other three. The stone room was pretty simple. Its walls didn't have any patterns or decorations. It had only a stone table, some stools, and a stone bed with a cattail hassock cushion. The ones cultivating martial arts didn't really notice the matters of the mortal world. At the same time, the Dragon Lizard clan was famous for their wild style. Of course, they wouldn't offer many luxury treatments to the others. Anyway, the Dragon Lizard clan had to treat the Soul Clan and the Water Tribe with more care. Audrey sat down cross-legged on the stone bed, her eyes sparkling as she smiled. Shiyang stood by the stone table. A fantasy boundary stone fell on the table. He released his soul consciousness and sent it into the fantasy boundary stone to imprint his soul seal. That way, he could control the fantasy boundary stone as he pleased. He had to treat the 7 fantasy boundary stones that way. Later on, he could use the soul seal to control them. After Shiyang had imprinted his soul seal, when he sent a wisp of his god power into the fantasy boundary stone, it glowed and ballooned like a hot air balloon. Shortly after, a small world was created. He grinned and nodded but didn't pump more god power. He liked those fantasy boundary stones and they were actually very suitable for him. Suddenly, Audrey's beautiful eyes sparkled strangely. She thinned her lips as she said gently, "Thank you." Shiyang lifted his head to look at her with a smile. After Audrey had returned to the cave, she had showered and changed into a silver silk dress. Her long hair draped around her porcelain shoulder was still wet. The stone chamber was filled with her sweet, after-shower aroma. A bead of water rolled on her jade-like cheek and her eyes were like the cold moon. People who didn't know her saw her as a cold, distant, and arrogant woman, and she actually treated them that way. However, at this moment, she looked calm and a little shy. She stooped, gritted her teeth, and then muttered, "Today, your strength and glory gave me a big harvest. It's really helpful to my cultivation base and realm. I'm very thankful." The cave was quiet, so even though her voice was low, it still echoed clearly. Putting aside the fantasy boundary stone, Shiyang grinned and looked with ease and natural poise. It's somehow our fate when we were delivered to this sea domain of nihility. Only you and I are from the same territory in this place. We know each other, so we should take care of each other. You're thankful. How do you want to thank me? He just teased her a little bit to get rid of her lesser feelings. After they had got to the sea domain of nihility, the proud woman of Imperial Dark Tribe had gradually recognized the truth. She finally knew that the 4 great creatures in desolate territory were nothing here. She knew that it would be a difficult struggle to survive with her incipient god realm in the sea domain of nihility. In this place, she had to depend on Shiyang completely. It was devastating to her pride. It was the first time she felt lesser. Although she concealed it well, Shiyang was sensitive enough to realize it. How do you want me to thank you? The beauty lowered her head, her picturesque brows shivering. She was so anxious. Kiss me, Shiyang grinned. A silver light crossed the room. The charming aroma stormed into his nostrils as he hadn't reacted, and a soft, fragrant body leaned against his body. A tinge of a soul-taking feeling appeared on his left cheek. Then, he heard the beauty murmur, "Are you delighted now?" Shiyang was dumbstruck as he looked at the glamour coming to him. She was wearing a silver silk dress, which shrouded her dazzling, graceful body. Her slender thighs and shoulders were like white jade. She was a little shorter than him, so when he stooped, he could see a mesmerizing, deep valley in her chest. At this moment, Audrey wasn't as cold and arrogant as she usually was. Her neck reddened. She closed her eyes and didn't dare to look at him. Her pretty long eyelashes batted and showed her extreme anticipation. Obviously, she was really naive. This sudden kiss had consumed all of her courage. Now, she felt so awkward that she didn't know what to do next. Audrey's charm at this moment made Shiyang gone wild. His eyes became hot like a surging, boiling sea. The loneliness while staying in the sea domain of nihility, the pressure from the 7 great clans, the unknown, misty future, all blended together now. Halting for a few seconds, Shiyang's breathing became short. He abruptly pulled the beautiful woman onto his chest and began to nibble at her white neck. He placed his hands on her magnificent, slender thighs, lingering and wandering between her rear end and the mysterious land between her thighs. The beauty blushed, her body shivering as if she got electrocuted. Her lips slid out murmuring sounds as if she was dreaming. She became so feeble and helpless in his embrace and was completely lost. That year, after she had gotten home from Desolate, her inner lake often reflected a hunky, strong figure. Thus, she had carefully investigated that man. She didn't even know why she wanted to do that. She just wanted to know his past, his whereabouts, and what he had experienced. She knew he had a lusty head. At that time, she was outraged she didn't know why. The stories about that man were spreading in her tribe. On Tsunami Star, she had witnessed the battle between him and Haig. Seeing the most dazzling member of the young generation of the God clan fall and that man rise, the shadow in her heart was carved even deeper. There was something that had intruded her inner sea and stayed there so persistently that she could never wash it away. In her eyes, only one man in the vast desolate territory had touched her heart. It was too bad that he was an excessively loose guy. Her innermost feelings conflicted. She had forced herself not to think about him a lot and just let it go. Until they came to the sea domain of nihility where everything was so strange, deadly, and dangerous to them. She had only him at her side. She had no more acquaintances from the desolate territory in this area. There was no restriction from her mother, her tribal members, and eyesore ladies around him. In this place, she could relax her innermost feelings and let herself immerse in it. Shiyang held her tight. His wide mouth slid from her exquisite neck to the deep valley on her chest. The body in his embrace became so hot and sexy as if a current of electricity was shot in him. He didn't know why he had an extremely wonderful feeling when he had her in his arms. He never had such a feeling before. It felt like even their souls were united in one that could generate marvels that nothing could compare to. His hands unceasingly explored her plump, porcelain body under the silk dress. His breathing was short and loud like a beast's. Slowly, he felt like he couldn't control himself anymore. However, when he was about to collapse and take the glamour to the stone bed, the cave entrance opened. Iveline's voice arose. "Oh, you guys are back." Audrey was awakened from her dream. She shivered and moved clumsily as if her limbs didn't belong to her anymore. Her face was so red that it looked like it was about to drip blood. She jolted onto the stone bed, paralyzed on the bed like a muddy puddle. Her dress opened at her chest and revealed half of her ample, milky breasts. The fabric of her dress was lifted to her thigh and her lower abdomen was a damp zone. "Get out. You should get out first." Although she had tried to cry, her voice was so powerless. Both of her hands moved clumsily to pull her dress to cover her chest and her sexy thighs. She looked so embarrassed and helter-skelter. Her watery eyes had a layer of mist, which made her like a dream or a picture. Gulp. Shi Yang felt his blood boiling. He couldn't help but gulp. Taking several deep breaths, he urged his power to send a cold energy current down his body to cool down. Resuming his normal condition, he eyed the girl balling her doughy body on the stone bed. "I don't know why you attract me more than anybody else. It's unimaginable," Shi Yang said, his voice husky. Audrey was still shivering as if electric currents were continuously running through her body. Her beautiful eyes were filled with light waves. She used the same method to cool down. Then, with her gritted teeth and blushed cheeks, she said, I don't know why I couldn't resist. Your deeds had made me immersed and completely lost. I think it may relate to our soul fusing with the origin of the ancient continent. It's inexplicable." Then, she bit her lower lips and hissed, "Get out, quickly. They're here. We will talk about this later. I don't want them to see me like this." Shi Yang grinned and then left the stone room, returning to the common room outside. As soon as he left, Audrey felt so soft as if she didn't have a spine. She was helpless and her heart was beating frantically. She clutched her breasts and thought about what just happened. An unknown flame rose inside her once again. Is this what a relationship between a man and a woman is like? It's really strange. It makes people lose their control. Mesmerizing lights moved in her eyes. She had so many thoughts crossing her mind. She just sat there for a long time as if she had sunk into illusions that she couldn't escape. Chapter 1378, The Fascinating Divine Eye. Chapter 1378, The Fascinating Divine Eye. Inside the spacious stone common room, Iveline's, Adam's, and Moshe winced. Seeing Shi Yang walk toward them, they reluctantly smiled to greet him. Shi Yang noticed a shadow flash and disappear in front of the cave. It seemed to follow the three to their lodge. "Did you get anything nice?" Moshe sat at the table and poured herself a cup of water. She finished it in one gulp and then asked Shi Yang. "Yeah, we got something," smiled Shi Yang. Right when he finished, he was startled when he looked at the cave entrance. A member of the Dragon Lizard clan at Second Sky of Incipient God Realm appeared by their door and called, "Can I come in?" The members of the Heavenly Eye clan looked tense. They urged their god power, their faces grave. "Come in," Iveline spoke cautiously and winked at Shi Yang to make him more cautious. That Dragon Lizard clansman was around 3 meters tall. He looked like a rock with a lot of muscles. While moving, his long spiky tail dragged on the ground and created an ear-piercing noise. After the lizard walked through the door, he talked to Iveline's group with a heavy face. "I suggest you guys leave as soon as possible. The members of the Earthgal tribe knows your location. I'm afraid they will act against your will. We're in your Dragon Lizard clan's territory. You can't even ensure our safety. We're invited here. Just a small problem and you show us this face." Moshe was outraged and she screamed. Shi Yang didn't say anything. He didn't know what had happened, so he turned to ask Iveline's. "Oh, we also have some items to trade. While we were in a bustling area, a member of the Earthgal tribe was interested in one of the items, but he didn't have the materials we wanted. He forced us to trade with something we didn't want. So we quarreled," explained Iveline's. "Earthgal tribe?" Shi Yang frowned. After he had received the Heavenly Fantasy Star Compass from Tu Shi, he had taken a look of the surrounding areas. The Heavenly Fantasy Star Compass had a record about this tribe. He knew that Earthgal tribe controlled the area closest to the Dragon Lizard clan. In this vast sea of stars, the Earthgal tribe was a second-class clan. The forefather of the tribe was at third sky of Immortal Realm. Although he wasn't as powerful as Dragon Lizard, he was famous in the surrounding areas. The most important information about this tribe was that Earthgal tribe was the Soul Clan's loyal watchdog. The ancestor of Earthgal tribe used to be a servant of a strong expert at the territory ancestor level in Soul Clan. His master had bestowed him the power Upanishad, which he had cultivated to third sky of Immortal Realm. When he returned to Earthgal tribe, he called himself their forefather. Thus, Earthgal tribe stuck to the Soul Clan. Rumors said that Earthgal tribe's ancestor had returned to his tribe because he was assigned to watch over the Dragon Lizard clan, which was next to their tribe. His mission was to persuade Dragon Lizard to unite with the Soul Clan. The Heavenly Eye clan was just a small, third-class race. It wasn't as strong as Earthgal tribe and it didn't have a strong foundation. If they had a dispute with Earthgal tribe members, they wouldn't get any support. After that Earthgal tribe clansman left the scene, he immediately went to another area. I think he must have reported to the experts in his clan. Earthgal tribe and the Soul Clan have a close relationship. This time, Commander Singh of the Soul Clan is here too. It's really hard for us, you know. You guys exchange the fascinating divine eye to him or you better leave now. Otherwise, I'm not sure if our Dragon Lizard clan can protect you. The guard of the Dragon Lizard clan reluctantly talked them out of it and then left hastily. He told them to consider the matter carefully. The fascinating divine eye. What's that? Shiyang frowned. Why does that Earthgal find your eye interesting? This eye, an eye emerged on Moshe's palm. The eye was a rhombus, pink crystal, which was so beautiful and full of sparkling energy that could enchant people. It's the third eye of a precursor in our clan. After she passed away, we kept her eye. This eye can fascinate people and make them tell secrets they hide in the bottom of their hearts. That man said that he wanted to give this eye to the commander of the Soul Clan. He knows that it's very useful, so he forced us to trade the eye to him. Crack. Audrey's closed door sprang open. She had resumed her cold, arrogant, and indifferent face. She had changed into a pure white dress. She emerged from the door and screamed, "That Earthgal warrior wants to offer the fascinating divine eye to Sing so Sing can use it to deal with Ming Hong from my clan. I'm sure they will do that." Shi Yang understood her idea. He complimented Audrey for her quick thinking that could connect the events together. Sing had made Ming Hong the brutal soul. However, since Ming Hong also cultivated soul power Upanishad, he had a special method to protect his memories. If he was attacked by the soul extracting technique, his soul would self-destruct. Sing wouldn't get anything from him then. Of course, there was still a flaw in Ming Hong's plan. As long as Sing handed Ming Hong to the territory ancestor expert of the Soul Clan, at his supernatural realm, he could extract Ming Hong's memories without hurting his soul. However, because Sing wanted to get the mysteries of desolate territory for himself and use desolate to reach the territory ancestor level, he concealed this. He had to think about how to do it alone. The fascinating divine eye of the Heavenly Eye clan was magical. It was a soul-enchanting weapon that could hypnotize the soul. Perhaps the fascinating divine eye could be the key to deal with Ming Hong. That Earthgal member followed Sing. Thus, when he found the eye, he was so thrilled that he wanted to force the others to sell it to him. A lot of thoughts crossed Shi Yang's head. He understood this somehow subtle situation. What cultivation base does that Earthgal expert have? If he can take more reinforcements, what would their realms be? That Earthgal member is at third sky of incipient God realm, so it's not really high. Thus, he's just qualified to do trading in our zone. Anyway, Earthgal tribe doesn't have only him on Dragon Lizard Star. If he dares to act brutally like that, he definitely knows that Earthgal tribe can beat us up here. Moreover, with the relationship between them and the Soul Clan, even if Earthgal tribe attacks us here, the Dragon Lizard clan will pretend not to see anything. It's not easy for that guard to tell us the dangers. Sigh, I didn't expect to encounter such bad luck. Ace, Earthgal tribe has targeted us. Ivlines winced and contemplated. He was considering whether to leave Dragon Lizard Star or not. Shiyang, we can ask, whispered Audrey. Because it was related to Ming Hong and Desolate Territory, she was very anxious. Immediately, she thought about seeking help from Tu Shiqi and Ya Yun of the mysterious Sky Clan. She thought that if the others helped them, it would be easy to destroy the people of Earthgal tribe. Shiyang pulled a stern face. He knew it was crucial. If Sing found the location of the entrance to Desolate Territory, the Soul Clan would invade them immediately. They would never have a quiet moment. Even if Sing failed, more experts of the Soul Clan would come. When one fell, the next was going to come. Because Desolate was divided into pieces due to its terrible wounds and because it controlled 2 divine weapons from the Absolute Beginning era, the Territory Ancestor experts of the Soul Clan weren't going to let it slip away when they knew it. Also, since Hui had awakened, Shiyang didn't know what was going on in Desolate Territory. If the Soul Clan came, billions of lives dwelling in Desolate Territory were going to be eliminated. Can the fascinating divine eye trick the immortal realm experts? Asked Shiyang suddenly. Yes, Ivlines and Adams nodded and said in unison. At least, we can't endure it. If we are fascinated, we can't resist for a long time. Try me, Shiyang talked to Moshe. Moshe hesitated for a while and then said, you have to gaze at this eye. I will send my soul energy. You can't move your eyes away from it. Okay. Moshe held the crystal pink fascinating divine eye close to Shiyang's eyes and then urged her soul energy. The eye then emitted a charming pink halo. It looked like a dreamy, beautiful picture that was unveiled. Shiyang was guided directly into that picture. Shiyang was lost immediately, just like when he had immersed in Audrey's beauty. He didn't wake up, his breathing short and heavy. Gradually, his eyes didn't look lucid anymore. It seemed like he had immersed in a romantic dream and he didn't want to get up or come back to reality. Audrey looked uneasy. At this moment, Shiyang appeared exactly like when they had just shared the passionate moment together, especially his moves. He looked lustful, as if he had a girl with him and his hands were stroking her. Audrey turned awkward and annoyed. Enough, she hissed. Moshe covered the light from the divine eye. Then, Shiyang woke up from his dream. He shot Audrey a hot, keen look. Audrey blushed and glared at him furiously. You said that. Shiyang was bewildered. He pulled himself together and admired the excellent eye. We will not let Earthgal tribe get this eye. Absolutely not. Ming Hong has only his soul left. Even if his realm is higher, I'm afraid that he can't resist for a long time with only the soul form. We must be ready to counter the enemies. If Earthgal tribe comes here, they must be sure of something. I think we can't counter them, Moshe said bitterly. It's okay. Just let them come here. Shiyang took a deep breath, his face stern and cold. If they dare to come, I have a plan to kill all of them unless they've reached third sky of immortal realm. However, if they got experts at such a level, we still have a strong backup. Then, after we kill the members of Earthgal tribe, I will contact the Dragon Lizard clan immediately and tell them that I understand dark energy. I'm sure that the forefather Dragon Lizard will have to protect me. Audrey's eyes brightened. What do you want to do? Shiyang looked at the stone room and said, the fantasy boundary stone. If we know their motivation, we can set up a trap. They will step into our trap. Can the fantasy boundary stone kill second sky of immortal realm experts? Audrey was surprised. I'm not sure. However, it's not a problem if we just wound them. We can try. Okay then. We're going to wait for the members of Earthgal tribe to come and provoke us. After that, we will teach them a bloody lesson. Chapter 1379, 10 Great Territory Ancestors. Chapter 1379, 10 Great Territory Ancestors. Dragon Lizard Star. In the middle of the well-lit palace underground, many members of the Earthgal tribe were operating. Members of this tribe had green faces and yellow fangs, which made them more like demons. They lived underground year-round and they hated light. Thus, Their features were dark and sinister with bloodthirsty deeds. The members of the Earthgal tribe were really short. They were as tall as 10-year-old human kids. However, their bodies were tough and full of cold yin. Most of their power Upanishads were malicious. Currently, an incipient God Realm Earthgal expert ran to this palace where the Dragon Lizard clan accommodated the Earthgal tribe. He met the leader of the tribe coming here this time. He screamed excitedly, "Sir Barago, I have good news. It's very useful for you." Inside the palace, Barago of the Earthgal tribe at Second Sky of Immortal Realm was the head of their delegation to the Dragon Lizard clan this time. He was one of the hotshots under the forefather of the tribe. Barago's eyes were white-grey and it gave people a heavy impression of death. He snorted and said impatiently, "I need to meet up with the Soul Clan quickly. If you have any news, you better report quickly. Don't waste my time." "Sir, as you've ordered, I've always paid attention to the treasures that can affect or control the soul. When I visited the trading zone of the third-class clans, I found that the Heavenly Eye clan was selling a fascinating divine eye. They said that the eye could even hypnotize the soul at the immortal realm." He hurried to report the situation, his eyes yearning. He looked at his master and assured him, "I've tested it. It worked well. I got fascinated immediately. However, I didn't have the materials they wanted to trade and I couldn't force them to give it to me, so I came to report it to you." The fascinating divine eye? Barago was surprised. He was excited as he nodded inwardly. He knew that the members of the Heavenly Eye clan were born with a third eye with magical effects. It wasn't some sort of power Upanishad but an innate supernatural power. The power of the eye increased as the warrior's realm increased. Sometimes, the power of the third eye remained even after the owner died. The members of the Heavenly Eye clan would keep the magical eye of their deceased precursors to exchange for some special cultivating materials. Barago was sent by the forefather of the Earthgal tribe to work with Singh. Singh had told them to find something that could hypnotize people. Singh had made himself clear that if Barago could find the top treasure that could function as he pleased, he would give him a lot of good rewards. Singh was the general commander of the Soul Clan and even the forefather of the Earthgal tribe had to respect him. If Barago got his favor, it would be very good for him. Barago was moved, his face more sinister. "What realms do the Heavenly Eye warriors have? Do you know where they are staying?" "Sir, don't worry. I found them. Among their group of 3, only 2 have reached First Sky of Immortal Realm and the woman is at Third Sky of Incipient God Realm. As long as you go there, we can take that fascinating eye as easily as flipping our hands. We won't encounter anything unexpected," said the other. Barago thought about it. He guessed that the area lodging third-class clans wouldn't have any strong warriors. "Lead the way. We're going there." His eyes raked around and shot a look at the 2 First Sky of Immortal Realm experts. "You too, come with me." Barago's guard heard him, they stood up, and the 4 of them ran toward Shiyang. Shortly after, Barago took his men to the cave where Shiyang's team was lodging. Many members of other clans were staying near the cave. Seeing Barago at Second Sky of Immortal Realm come and recognizing him from the infamous the Earthgal tribe, they were frightened. They stayed as far away as possible from them. No one wanted trouble. In this area, the Earthgal tribe was a clan that nobody liked to stay close to. They lived deep in the dark underground. They were abnormal and bloodthirsty, indeed. Also, they looked for revenge for the slightest grudge. The Earthgal tribe wasn't weak and they got the Soul Clan, their master, behind them. They had troubled the other second-class clans a lot. The Water tribe near them especially hated the Earthgal tribe the most. However, the Water tribe was afraid of the Soul Clan, so they didn't dare to confront the Earthgal tribe directly. In many cases, they had to press down their anger. The guards of the Dragon Lizard clan in this area were supposed to keep up security and control the situation. However, after Barago showed up, the Dragon Lizard guards reluctantly stepped back and hid in the caves. They observed the situation from the cave entrance. The guy who had come to warn Ivelines was standing with his friends. With a heavy complexion, he shook his head. "I warned them. If they had left immediately, the Earthgal tribe wouldn't have caught them. Now, They can't leave even if they want to leave. Sigh, if the Earthgal tribe wasn't the henchmen of the Soul Clan, we would have killed them already, said a guard of the Dragon Lizard Clan while looking outraged. They knew that the forefather of the Earthgal tribe was assigned to monitor them. He often visited the Dragon Lizard Clan and asked Dragon Lizard to unite with the Soul Clan. The Dragon Lizard Clan, the Earthgal tribe, and the Water tribe dwelled near each other. Sometimes, they had minor conflicts, but the Earthgal tribe would use the Soul Clan as their backup to gain the upper hand. The Dragon Lizard Clan and the Water tribe couldn't deal with the Soul Clan, so they had to yield most of the time. Gradually, the Earthgal tribe's arrogance expanded. Recently, they had acted haughtily around as if they were the real overlords of this area. This could be seen from their deed of attacking Iveline's team while staying in the Dragon Lizard Clan's territory. Since it was the area where third-class clans gathered, the warriors here, who weren't the Earthgal tribe's opponents, decided to stay away from trouble. The Dragon Lizard Clan had to open one eye and close one eye, pretending to see nothing. Of course, there was still an exception. In a corner in front of Shuyang's team, Tu Shiqi and Yun were watching the situation from their cave. They had disguised themselves again. Yun had changed back to her hag appearance. Tu Shiqi didn't have a bald head anymore. Now, his hair grew lushly like a bush and he appeared as a filthy, ugly old man. At this moment, they stood by their cave entrance while looking surprised. Isn't that cave where the two kids were staying? The Earthgal tribe is the Soul Clan's watchdog. Why did they come to find him? Strange. The Earthgal tribe has heard wind of our affair that quickly? Yun mumbled as she was bewildered. Then, she snorted, if they dare to act rashly, we have to show ourselves to kill them. When they had fought against Sing, the forefather of the Earthgal tribe had supported Sing. After Tu Shiqi got into the spatial lock as he got hurt severely, Yun had to conceal and disguise herself to run away. She had to be cautious because of the Earthgal tribe's ears and eyes. Along her way to Dragon Lizard Star, the Earthgal tribe had often troubled her. It filled her with indignation. Don't beat the grass. It will scare the snake. Tu Shiqi shook his head. At the critical moment, he was placid. On the surface, the Dragon Lizard Clan has a good relationship with the Soul Clan. If we're exposed and Dragon Lizard doesn't know Sing's plan yet, I'm afraid he'll join hands with Sing to deal with us. Then, our plan will be gone. We won't be able to escape safely. However, those two kids aren't an equal match to the Earthgal tribe. I'm afraid they will be killed instantly, said Yun. Tu Shiqi had a strange halo in his eyes as he grinned. You underestimated that kid. A warrior who has understood dark energy when he's pretty young won't be killed quickly and easily. Also, his life form has transformed. It's one level higher than ours. He's much stronger than warriors at the same realm. I think it's not easy for the Earthgal tribe to kill him. Listening to him, Yun looked bewildered. You rarely appreciate a man that much. Even the outstanding juniors in our clan have never received your compliments. So, you think that he could defeat that Earthgal tribe expert at Second Sky of Immortal Realm with his incipient God Realm? How could that be possible? Well, if he confronts him directly, it will be impossible. However, if he uses his head, he'll still have a big chance. Tu Shiqi smiled and comforted his wife. Don't worry. We'll just watch from here. If things accelerate in the wrong way, I will take action immediately to kill the Earthgal tribe experts. Then, we will take that little couple out of Dragon Lizard Star as fast as possible. Taking a deep breath, Tu Shiqi put on a serious face. His life is more important than Sing's. Even if he can't become the non-native officer of our clan, it's also useful for our clan when we can create an enemy at the territory ancestor realm for the Soul Clan. Mwahaha, the warriors from Desolate Territory aren't as weak as people have rumored. There is someone extraordinarily powerful. It's just that not many people know about him. Have you ever met anybody from Desolate Territory? Yun was surprised. Tu Shiqi shook his head. I've never seen anyone, but our clan has some records. A man called Bloodthirsty used to come to the sea domain of Nihility from Desolate Territory. He didn't stay in the sea domain of Nihility for a long time, so not many people know about him. A precursor of our clan used to mention him in a confidential record. He said that Bloodthirsty was very terrifying and could bring a destructive change to the sea domain of nihility. Unfortunately, in this sea domain of nihility, he was just like an orchid cactus that bloomed and withered quickly. He had left quickly afterward. He could bring a destructive change to sea domain of nihility. Was our precursor wrong? I didn't think that Bloodthirsty could be so powerful like that. Yun shook her head and smiled as she thought that Tu Shiqi had just exaggerated. I don't think he was wrong because he said that he had battled that expert once and he knew that he was a little weaker, said Tu Shiqi. Well, then it could be because of his low competence, right? Yun pouted her lips. His low competence. Tu Shiqi gave her a forced smile. Who? Yun was surprised. Sir Han Tien. Tu Shiqi said the name with a respectful, stern complexion. Yun jolted up. She looked bewildered and she couldn't even speak. Han Tien was one of the territory ancestor realm of the mysterious Sky Clan. He was also the strongest warrior of their clan. He was famous for his brutality and power in the sea domain of nihility. He was one of the 10 great territory ancestors with an earth-shaking reputation in this vast sea of stars. This vast sea of stars has so many territories and there were very few experts who reached the territory ancestor realm. However, Han Tien was one of the 10 strongest experts. The 10 great territory ancestors were the strongest individuals among countless warriors. They were acknowledged as the ones that had reached the greatest realms. Chapter 1380 Lead the Wolf into the House. Chapter 1380, Lead the Wolf into the House. The 10 great territory ancestors were the real heroes among the other territory ancestors. They were the strongest individuals in this vast sea of stars. The territory ancestors could create a galaxy and new species. It was the greatest ability of the warrior's power Upanishads. They were the ultimate existences in the sea domain of nihility and in every race. The territory ancestor realm was the highest realm that warriors could reach. Han Tien was one of the 10 great territory ancestors. He was the pride of the mysterious Sky Clan and the super expert that people in many territories acknowledged. He was the main pillar of the mysterious Sky Clan and the most supernatural hero. Also, he said that the unknown Bloodthirsty could turn the sea domain of nihility upside down and that he was 1 level weaker than Bloodthirsty. Yun didn't have any doubt. So that Bloodthirsty came from desolate territory? How could that territory create such a genius? Yun was perplexed for a while. She asked with surprise. Sir Han Tien and that Bloodthirsty had met up for a short time. He saw Bloodthirsty slaughter the members of the devouring clan brutally. And the strange thing was that his power Upanishad was very similar to the devouring clan. It seemed like he had mastered the lost power Upanishad of the devouring clan. Also, he had mastered the 8 great evil power Upanishads of the devouring clan. It was unimaginable. Tu Shiqi was also surprised. Rumors said that Devour, the absolute beginning creature, had created the devouring clan using his flesh and blood. However, Devour had disappeared for a long time. No one knows if he's still alive or not. However, after so many years, the devouring clan has developed a lot, and the competencies of the experts in their clan could be as high as their ancestor Devour. The devouring clan is the most mysterious clan among the 7 clans. We don't know how strong they are. Even the cruel, brutal Soul Clan and the overbearing Dark Demon Clan don't dare to challenge or offend the devouring clan. Why did Bloodthirsty go massacre the devouring clan? How could he know devouring power Upanishad, the lost Upanishad of the devouring clan? Yun felt a little puzzled. Tu Shiqi gave her a forced smile. I think even Sir Han Tien couldn't answer your questions. When he saw Bloodthirsty kill so many members of the devouring clan and make blood flow like a river, he was excited. He wanted to try. He had fought Bloodthirsty. Sir Han Tien was defeated. Then, he tried to create a good friendship with Bloodthirsty. They drank together and then he invited Bloodthirsty to visit our clan when he had free time. Bloodthirsty had accepted his invitation. However, after they bid farewell, they hadn't met up again. Bloodthirsty seemed to have disappeared from the sea domain of nihility like a random traveler. However, Sir Han Tien couldn't forget him. He highly appreciated him. He asked us to pay attention to see if we can find any information about desolate territory. As Bloodthirsty was so powerful, we hoped to unite or be friends with him. Oh. Now, I know why you tried your best to create a good relationship with that kid. It turns out that you know desolate territory has given birth to someone so terrifying, said Yun. If that kid can become a new Bloodthirsty, let alone the things we offered him, even if we give him 10 times more than that, it will be worth it, said Tu Shiqi. Yun was surprised. You're a hardcore gambler. But you're always right. Wait to see it. This kid will be one of my biggest bets and I will win for sure. Tu Shiqi laughed haughtily. Right at this moment, an earth-shaking explosion came from the cave entrance of Shi Yang's cave. Boom! The stone door of the cave entrance was broken into pieces and dust scattered everywhere. Barago of the Earthgal tribe had directly crushed the stone door. He didn't even care about the Dragon Lizard clan. With a sinister smile hanging on his face, he brought the 3 subordinates storming into the cave. When the members of other third-class clans around heard the loud explosion, they retracted their neck and closed their caves. The ones who still had the guts to observe the situation were staying far from the cave of the Heavenly Eye clan. They were fearful as they looked at this area from a distance. The Earthgal tribe has become more rampant, said a guard of the Dragon Lizard clan through his gritted teeth. The other guards of the Dragon Lizard clan had the same thought. Their eyes turned red as if they hated that they couldn't kill and pull the intestines of those Earthgal tribe members out of their stomachs. However, they knew that the Earthgal tribe was the Soul Clan's hound. It wasn't tough to kill the Earthgal tribe, but the Soul Clan wasn't the enemy that the Dragon Lizard clan could handle. Unless their forefather Dragon Lizard could reach the territory ancestor realm. When that happened, they would have a strong backup, though. Hey friends from Heavenly Eye clan. Don't hide. Get out and talk. Barago grinned sinisterly. He walked into the cave, his face calm. He appeared with the green face and yellow fangs, accompanied by a strange smile that made him more gruesome. His voice echoed loudly as if he did that on purpose so people would know how haughty and proud their Earthgal tribe was. So they are the members of the Earthgal tribe. Shi Yang walked out of the stone chamber, his face surprised. He eyed the 4 clansmen of the Earthgal tribe and said seriously, "You're right. They're like fearsome, nauseating ghosts. They're really one of the ugliest races in this universe, indeed." Audrey stood by him. After a short glance at the members of the Earthgal tribe, she looked cold and disdainful. Her facial expression and manners suited Shi Yang's harsh words well. Update by Novelful. Commander Ivelines forced a smile. He didn't know if Shi Yang's plan could work. He focused and checked around. He found that the 4 members of the Earthgal tribe hadn't found anything strange yet. He snorted and closed his eyes. "You guys smashed my door to get in here. I wonder what made you do that." Barago didn't look at Ivelines. His white-grey eyes gazed at Shi Yang as he said coldly, "Little doggo, what is the ugliest race in the universe? Isn't it you guys?" Shi Yang was astounded. His face was awkward as if he wanted to say, "You knew it and you still wanted to ask me. Well, everybody knows that, but you don't know anything. Kill him. Kill him for me." Barago shouted ear-piercingly. A member of the Earthgal tribe at First Sky of Immortal Realm behind him immediately stormed over and spurted out a black yin ball. The ball was icy cold with thick yin chi that fell on Shi Yang's head. The black ball exploded and turned into an icy pond that covered Shi Yang. "Keep that woman alive. I want to *CK her to death. I want them to see the result of offending our Earthgal tribe. King Alien. You dare to humiliate our noble Earthgal tribe. You can't be forgiven. I will torture you to death." Barago screamed wildly, his voice thundering and echoing around the valley. Only the third-class clans gathered in this area. Since the Earthgal tribe was a second-class race and depended on the Soul Clan, Barago thought that no one dared to interfere with his business. Even the Dragon Lizard clan didn't dare to do that. Audrey gazed at Barago with her cold eyes and said coldly, "Even the Soul Clan's dogs are that haughty. You don't recognize your responsibility as the dogs, so you should become dead dogs. Terminate." Shi Yang was indifferent. His lips parted to make one sound, which then turned into a scorching flame that shrouded the cold pond. Shortly after, it burned the pond into ashes. The Earthgal tribe warrior at first sky of Immortal Realm turned red and tried to swallow a gulp of blood that had just churned in his throat. "Aha, members of the Earthgal tribe, I'm enlightened now. Just like what you told us. They are haughty and ugly. Thus, we don't need to talk," Shi Yang said calmly, his power surging. Shortly after, the room was filled with magical space energy. Right after that, Evelyn's, Adam's, Moshe, and Audrey faded and disappeared as if they were just illusions. "Sir, this place isn't the cave. It's a spatial trap. We're trapped in another space." The member of the Earthgal tribe at the first sky of Immortal Realm, who had just fought against Shi Yang, discolored and shouted as he found something wrong. He was right. This place wasn't a cave. It was the new space that Shi Yang had created by using the fantasy boundary stone. This space was the exact copy of the original stone common room with the same walls, stone tables, and stools. Everything here was created with the power of the fantasy space. They were indeed just illusions. At this moment, Audrey and the other three had returned to the Real stone chamber where a light cluster hovered in the middle. Inside the light cluster was Shi Yang and the members of the Earthgal tribe. Audrey and the others could see the situation clearly as if they were watching something under the lake through the water surface. "That world looks so real. I hadn't expected his space power Upanishad to reach such a magical level. It isn't different from reality here. If we hadn't returned, I would have thought that we were still in that world and thought it was real," Moshe said as she was totally convinced. Audrey was also surprised. Now, she knew that when Shi Yang solved the spatial lock, he harvested new achievements in space power Upanishad. Otherwise, he couldn't have deceived the others by creating an illusional world using the fantasy boundary stone that the others couldn't tell if it was real or not. Just like her, Tu Shi and Yun were also astounded. Different from the other warriors of third-class races who couldn't tell the situation because of their low realms, they knew exactly what was going on inside the cave. Because Yun had given Shi Yang the fantasy boundary stone, they could recognize the feeble space energy from that cave. "I think today is a bad day for the Earthgal tribe. That kid is correct. Being the dogs, they should have recognized their responsibility as dogs. They shouldn't deem themselves as the wolves. Because if they do that, they will get pretty close to death." Tu Shi laughed fiendishly. "That kid has power. He used the fantasy boundary stone to create a cave and seal the door. He lured the Earthgal tribe to break the door to get in his trap. Haha, in the world he has created, how could the Earthgal tribe members do anything? His understanding and application of space power Upanishad are really extraordinary. This kid does have endless potential," appraised Yun. While they were talking, Shi Yang stayed inside that world and curled his lips into a smile. "Well, stay here and enjoy the marvel of the exploding space." Then, he left the space and returned to the real stone common room. He pointed at the world that looked like a cluster of light. Boom, boom, boom. Just like eggs that exploded, the light cluster burst and sent out the formidable energy of a collapsing space. Audrey, Evelyn's, Adam's, and Moshe could see clearly that the members of the Earthgal tribe inside that world had their bodies shatter like glass falling on hard ground. Their bodies burst into so many pieces that they couldn't have a worse death. Their soul altars were smashed. Their souls turned into feeble wisps that tried to escape the cave. "Rascal! I won't let it go. The Earthgal tribe will make you pay the bloodiest price. Wait to see it." Barago's soul slithered and tried to escape the cave while shouting crazily. The power Upanishad that the Earthgal tribe cultivated was bestowed by the Soul Clan. Thus, it was also magical. After their soul altars broke, their souls were still able to escape. Chapter 1381 You Think You Can Run Away? Chapter 1381 You think you can run away? The 4 members of the Earthgal tribe inside the world created by the fantasy boundary stone were smashed when that world shattered. Their souls turned into wisps like worms. Since the Earthgal tribe's power Upanishad was special, even when their soul altar broke, their souls could still flee. After being condensed, their souls could still survive. Barago's realm was the highest here. Although his body and soul altar shattered, wisps of his soul could still talk arrogantly before leaving. His sinister, resentful soul energy still lingered in the cave. The small world collapsing had broken the entrance of the cave altogether. At this moment, many rocks blocked half of the entrance. The aliens outside the cave couldn't see or hear the commotions there anymore. Tu Shachi and his wife couldn't see the situation inside the cave with their naked eyes. Want to run? You think you can run away from me? Shiyang's face was dark, harsh, and malicious. He grinned fiendishly as he rose one finger and touched his glabella. The mysterious black hole flew out of his soul altar. It was like the massive, dark mouth of a demon. The devouring power Upanishad was urged. A great suction force came out from the hole and pulled the souls forcefully. With Shi Yang as the center, everybody else in the cave all felt strange, as if their souls were dragged and their soul altars were pulled hard. Inside the cave, the wisps of the soul swayed like algae in the sea and headed to the cave entrance to leave. However, after his black hole emerged, all the soul wisps and soul energy were sucked in as if there was a super magnet. Shortly after, they all moved into the black hole, a supernatural ability of his devouring Upanishad. Devouring power Upanishad. The lost power Upanishad of the devouring clan. Unbelievable. Impossible. It's absolutely impossible. Before the last wisp of Barago's soul was sucked into the black hole, he was aghast as if he had a mental problem. All the wisps of souls and soul energy inside the cave disappeared. After the small soul shattered, the energy and essence chi from the 4 Earthgal tribe members had become pure energy that naked eyes couldn't see and entered Shi Yang's acupuncture points. Shi Yang stayed quiet to sense his body. Then, he realized that because of the strange energy from Hui that had transformed him, his acupuncture points didn't swell or ache as he took in the energy from the 4 members of the Earthgal tribe. The capacity of his acupuncture points seemed to increase massively, so he was able to receive more energy. Soon, the soul energy from the 4 warriors of the Earthgal tribe was converted and refined. Flows of mysterious, pure energy scattered like a magical foundation that gave a tonic to his soul altar and increased the energy in his sea of consciousness. He noticed that the dark energy in his sea of consciousness also grew. The dark energy blended with Shi Yang's soul consciousness and made his soul consciousness more powerful than his god power. It could attack invisibly with formidable power. It could seep into the other's sea of consciousness in just a blink of an eye, and its sensibility was amazing. The fusion between dark energy and his soul consciousness had given his soul consciousness infinite abilities. Squinting, he checked it and found that the dark energy was bobbing in his sea of consciousness, and it seemed to seep into his soul altar one wisp at a time. Slowly, it was affecting and changing his soul altar. Update by novel full. Commander apparently, it was a useful change for him. With the aid from dark energy, he became wise and his understanding of power Upanishads was deeper. It seemed like his soul potential was about to open, which made the fusion of power Upanishads simple. Shi Yang got dark energy as his devouring power Upanishad, which swallowed the energy from Hui when Wedison eroded it. This energy hid deep in his sea of consciousness and fused with his soul consciousness, giving it magical powers. And now, it was slowly changing the soul altar. He discreetly sensed and found that the dark energy could fuse with any kind of energy in his body. It could transform him physically and mentally. While talking, he sent the dark energy from the sea of consciousness to his body and let it run through his veins, bones, and flesh. He found himself slowly turn invisible. Ivelines, Audrey, and the others saw him become transparent and then gradually become invisible. However, a formidable energy fluctuated from his whereabouts, making people shiver with anxiety. It seemed like the space around him had also changed accordingly to his change. Shi Yang. Audrey pondered for a while and then hissed. Shi Yang was awakened from his marvelous experience. He retrieved the dark energy into his body and guided it back to the sea of consciousness. He reappeared with a strange expression and smiled at Iveline's group. The Earthgal tribe isn't really hard to deal with. Don't worry. All the warriors who had come here are dead. We saw it. Iveline's looked odd. He wanted to say something, but he held it back. It seemed like he was very perplexed. Shiyang, Audrey's eyes brightened. When Barago's last beam of soul consciousness disappeared, did you hear what he said? He said that your sucking soul energy ability is the lost technique of the devouring clan. Shiyang understood. His face went stiff as he said that, indeed. The devouring power Upanishad was the core inheritance of bloodthirsty force. In desolate territory, only bloodthirsty had mastered this power Upanishad. Shiyang's power Upanishad came from bloodthirsty. How could it be related to the devouring clan? He looked at the three experts of the Heavenly Eye clan. Instantly, he became cautious and pretended to act naturally. How is the devouring clan? Ivelines took a deep breath. The devouring clan is the most strange clan among the 7 great clans. I heard that it's a whole new species that Devour, the absolute beginning creature, had created using his blood and flesh. Members of this clan cultivate the 8 great powers Upanishads, including soul control, death, corrosion, dark, chaos, destruction, despair, and corpse chi. Also, the most mysterious power Upanishad that they won't teach anyone is the devouring power Upanishad. Devour, the absolute beginning creature, had imparted them those powers Upanishads. However, until today, the devouring clan's devouring power Upanishad was lost, as well as many of the 8 great power Upanishads. Anyway, the devouring clan is still one of the 7 great clans, and it's the most mysterious clan that no one dares to offend. Devour, the absolute beginning creature, had disappeared a very long time ago. Only the members of the devouring clan know about it. Rumors say that Devour was the fountainhead of evils. It controlled evil divine weapons. According to the members of the devouring clan, when Devour was in his peak of glory, he could swallow the planets and territories to increase his power. He was the most terrifying creature in this world. Pausing for a while, Ivelines looked at Shiyang. The way you used to swallow the wisps of soul and soul energy of the Earthgal tribe members is similar to the lost power Upanishad of the Earthgal tribe, the devouring power Upanishad. Currently, even the members of the devouring clan can't grasp the essence of this power Upanishad. How are you able to cultivate it? Audrey was bewildered as she looked at Shiyang. So bloodthirsty was. No, he wasn't. Shiyang shook his head. He remembered what Hui had told him through Tian Xie. Desolate had created bloodthirsty to help it reunite its body, which was to merge the 4 ancient continents to Desolate. Unfortunately, Hui's plan was interrupted when Devour attacked it. Devour had imparted bloodthirsty its devouring power Upanishad and the 8 great, evil power Upanishads. It wanted to use bloodthirsty to destroy Desolate territory and harm Desolate further to prevent it from recovering ever again. It was the fight between Devour and Desolate. According to Hui, the Dark Abyss, the holy land of the bloodthirsty force, was Devour. Ming Hao used to tell them that bloodthirsty had defeated even the absolute beginning creature. Shiyang thought that this absolute beginning creature was Hui. However, he now considered it to be Devour, the absolute beginning creature that had tried to influence bloodthirsty. Devour could be killed or made dormant. When bloodthirsty thought that he could finally escape his destiny, Desolate took action again. It had promoted the God Lord and helped him get the Genesis fruit. Brian then led the experts to defeat Bloodthirsty. Bloodthirsty was killed by Brian. Desolate had terminated him. The main reason was that Desolate had created Bloodthirsty, so his fate was bound. Desolate could arrange his destiny. If Bloodthirsty hadn't been hurt after the fight with Devour, he would have been able to refine Desolate and then replace Desolate to become the master of Desolate territory. He would have been the peak existence in the sea domain of nihility. Devouring clan was the clan that Devour had created by using its blood and flesh. Devour was their ancestor. Devour had imparted them everything it had: blood, power Upanishads, and energy. It should be the exit that Devour had saved for itself before the battle with Desolate. Then, Devour left the Devouring clan to find Desolate and fight against it. Also, after developing for a long time, the Devouring clan had gradually lost their essence of power Upanishads because their precursors fell. Devour battled against Desolate and then got severely injured. It had to return to sea domain of nihility. Then, Bloodthirsty defeated it. It could be left in a coma or killed, which led to the loss of the Devouring clan's power Upanishads. Shi Yang had many thoughts cross his mind. This journey in the sea domain of nihility had given him a lot of information about the conflict between Desolate and Devour, and Bloodthirst's creation and elimination. Shi Yang could guess what had happened in the past now. He admired and respected Bloodthirsty more as he could defeat Devour, the absolute beginning creature. It was really pitiful for an overlord whose fate was bound to Desolate. It was how Desolate could take the upper hand and use Brian to kill him. Bloodthirsty could never have escaped the restriction to fly freely in the sea domain of nihility. He could never have become another dazzling legend in the vast sea domain of nihility. He failed, but he had used Laro Luo to choose Shi Yang, an heir whose fate wasn't bound to Desolate territory. Shi Yang was born with greater advantages. Shi Yang looked stern as he promised inwardly. Your failure was because of your drama in your birth and fate. If you chose me, I won't fail you. I will finish what you weren't capable of fulfilling. It's not the devouring power Upanishad. I used a secret treasure to do that. It's an application of the dark energy. Pondering for a while, Shi Yang chuckled and then said to the three members of the Heavenly Eye clan, "You're overthinking it. I hope you don't misunderstand me. Otherwise, the Devouring clan will skin me alive." Ivelines looked skeptical and baffled, but they didn't continue the topic. They didn't believe Barago's last words. The devouring power Upanishad was lost, even in the Devouring clan. The magical power of this Upanishad was assumed to be the lies and exaggeration of the Devouring clan. Moreover, Shi Yang was apparently from Desolate territory. They knew his identity already. No matter what, Desolate territory couldn't have anything connected to the lost power Upanishad of the Devouring clan. It didn't have anything in common, anyway. Thus, they chose to believe Shi Yang. They thought that it was a magical power of the dark energy when it urged a special secret treasure, which had similar effects to devouring power Upanishad. Only Audrey understood Shi Yang's concerns. The devouring power Upanishad was very crucial to the Devouring clan. It was lost even in the said clan, so it was precious to them. If word of this power got out and the Devouring clan heard about it, how would they survive? Chapter 1382, Twisting and Turning. Chapter 1382, Twisting and Turning. The guards of the Dragon Lizard clan had always paid attention to Shi Yang's cave. When the cave sealed, they became restless because they couldn't see what was going on in there. Boom! The sealed stone door exploded. This time, the Dragon Lizard clan guards saw that Shi Yang's team was safe and sound from a distance. Barago and his members of the Earthgal tribe had disappeared. The Dragon Lizard clan guards felt their hearts sinking. They all became grave. Exchanging looks, they immediately walked towards Shi Yang's cave. Barago was the head of the Earthgal tribe delegation this time. He also had a sensitive connection with Singh of the Soul clan. As long as he was safe, even if he had troubled Shi Yang's group, the Dragon Lizard clan wasn't going to find him to ask for justice. They had to be patient and quiet. But if something bad happened to Barago, it was going to be an explosion and Singh knew it. Instantly, the Dragon Lizard clan guards stormed into Shi Yang's cave. Some guards were cautious enough to set up some barriers and seal the door one more time. The guard that had warned them earlier stepped forward and asked, "Where are the members of the Earthgal tribe?" Shi Yang knew why they were anxious. He answered calmly, "They came to force us to sell things for them. They wanted to kill us, but we had defeated them and killed them." Yeah. We don't even leave their remains. What's the problem?" It was over. The Dragon Lizard clan guards felt sudden darkness in their eyes. They knew that it was really serious this time. One of them took a deep breath and didn't ask more. He immediately took out a sound stone and reported with a grimace. "Sir Dulei, we are in big trouble. Barago of the Earthgal tribe died. Du Lei was one of the experts under Forefather Dragon Lizard's commands. He was in charge of the affairs in another area. Listening to the report, he was startled. He immediately asked for the location and ran at his max speed. Inside the cave, the Dragon Lizard clan guards wore worried, bitter faces. The death of Barago could bring big trouble to the Dragon Lizard clan. If they let Shi Yang's group leave easily, they couldn't answer to the others. The Soul Clan stood behind the Earthgal tribe. Also, Sing was here as the distinguished guest of their clan. Barago had to report to Sing regularly because Sing had asked him to find someone. Barago was dead unknowingly. Sing had to ask the cause and the situation. If the forefather of the Earthgal tribe knew that his subordinate sent to Dragon Lizard Star was killed here, he was going to be outraged and he was possibly even going to come personally to take revenge. "You can't leave now," said a guard of the Dragon Lizard clan. Shi Yang grinned. He made this scene just to find a chance to see the real manager of the Dragon Lizard clan. Thus, he wasn't anxious or hot-tempered. He just happily waited to see Du Lei. Du Lei arrived fast. He landed here before even 1 hour passed. As soon as he landed, he found a strange situation. Many alien warriors from the third-class clans were standing in front of their caves and discussing with each other while looking at another cave. They all wore strange countenances. Those warriors looked excited and happy over the other's misfortune, but most of them showed indifferent faces. Barago hasn't walked out of the cave yet. Did something bad happen to him? How could it be? Barago has second sky of Immortal Realm cultivation base. He's from the Earthgal tribe. Who dares to trap him? So why hasn't he walked out yet? The Earthgal tribe is evil and lustful. Perhaps they closed the cave to torture those Heavenly Eye clan members. Who knows? Those people couldn't observe the battle between Shi Yang and the Earthgal tribe inside the cave because of the closed door. Tu Shiqi and Ya Yun were the only ones outside the cave who knew that Barago was dead. However, they were also baffled. The Earthgal tribe cultivates the power Upanishad bestowed by the Soul Clan. Even if the soul altar is smashed, the host soul can divide into many wisps and flee. If they don't have the special power Upanishad or secret treasures, it will be pretty hard to eliminate them. Why are there no wisps fleeing? Is it true that the wisps of their souls were annihilated too? Ya Yun was perplexed. Yeah, it's strange. Tu Shiqi was also surprised. The manager of the Dragon Lizard clan is here. We should just keep quiet and watch. As that kid can make a higher superior come here, as long as he's smart, he can lead the situation to develop into the best way. It seems like we will benefit from his glory. Ya Yun smiled. If he can persuade Dragon Lizard to join hands with us to deal with Sing, Sing will be finished at Dragon Lizard Star. Then, the Dragon Lizard clan has to go the same way as our mysterious Sky clan. It'll be perfect, though. Tu Shiqi laughed evilly. "I am Du Lei," a muffled call came from the cave entrance. The members of the Dragon Lizard clan hurried to lift the barriers and respectfully greeted Du Lei. Du Lei was the sort of character who could meet Forefather Dragon Lizard. He looked a deep breath, his face grimaced. "Are you sure that the members of the Earthgal tribe were all killed?" He said that. One of them pointed at Shi Yang. Shi Yang was still calm. "The Earthgal tribe wanted to force us to trade and then kill us to rob the item. We were so reluctant, so we had to defend ourselves." Du Lei scanned through Adams, Ivelines, Moshe, and Audrey. He said with a dark face, "You guys can kill Barago's group." Shi Yang didn't want to waste time. He knew that if he didn't explain thoroughly, they would capture him to talk to the Earthgal tribe and the Soul Clan. "I cultivate a special power Upanishad. Yeah, I burst off the space waves to smash them to death." He explained, pulled a stern visage, and then said, "I heard that your forefather has been stuck at the peak of Immortal Realm and he needs to study the dark energy to break through to the territory Ancestor Realm. I happen to know dark energy. I want to use my understanding of dark energy to exchange for an immortal pellet. Can you take me to see him?" "Kid, you think you can make me let you go by saying that?" Du Lei somehow appreciated Shi Yang inwardly when he saw that Shi Yang wasn't afraid at all. "However," he said, "honestly, We don't have a good impression or feelings for the Earthgal tribe. If you can kill them, I will applaud happily. Unfortunately, the Earthgal tribe has a close relationship with the Soul Clan. We still need to explain it to them. Then, he turned to his guards and asked them to take Shi Yang's team into custody first. Apparently, he didn't believe that Shi Yang had dark energy. He thought that Shi Yang had just made an excuse. Anyway, Shi Yang had just incipient God realm. He had never heard of anyone who could comprehend dark energy at incipient God realm. Perhaps this will be easier to understand. Shi Yang calmly urged his energy. His soul consciousness rippled like waves. The stone walls around him exploded furiously. An invisible energy had intruded Du Lei and his warriors and entered their souls. They all felt shivers down their spines. They were filled with fear instantly. How could it be? It. How could you do that? Du Lei couldn't even imagine. He had heard about many mysterious secrets of the dark energy. He knew it was peculiar. Without alerting the others, this invisible energy could expand inaudibly and it was more lethal than God power. Shi Yang's performance was exactly like what they had rumored. It was the power of the ones with dark energy. I want to meet your forefather, said Shi Yang simply. Du Lei's eyes were complicated. He pondered for a few seconds and then said to his warriors, it's forbidden to tell any word about this. You arrange them in another area. Don't let anybody know. Conceal the death of the Earthgal tribe members. No, we must close this area. Do not let anyone in or out. The members of the Dragon Lizard clan knew the seriousness of this case. They nodded continuously. We don't need to move to another area. I have 2 friends here. You guys should escort them to my friend's cave. Shi Yang pointed at Tu Shiqi and Ya Yun's cave in the distance. You have no say in this. We will arrange this ourselves. While you go meet our elder, we will conceal it. Du Lei snorted and then said, follow me. I'm taking you to meet our elder. Du Lei knew that their Dragon Lizard clan was afraid of the Soul Clan because their forefather hadn't reached the Territory Ancestor realm yet. As long as he reached that realm, they could stop worrying about the Territory Ancestor of the Soul Clan. He understood what Dragon Lizard prioritized now, Shi Yang, an alien who knew dark energy. If he could give the forefather a chance to break through, the death of the Earthgal tribe members was not important. Du Lei took Shi Yang on a stone-paved path. This path had many hidden mechanisms that Du Lei had to use his soul consciousness to open. Each wall here led to a marvelous cave deep inside the planet. After a long time, Shi Yang had gone deep underground and appeared by a massive scorching lava pond. After Du Lei had taken Shi Yang here, Du Lei kneeled down on both knees and spoke the language of the Dragon Lizard clan to talk to the lava pond. Du Lei was calling for Dragon Lizard. After a while, Dragon Lizard's clone emerged from the hot pond and stood in front of Du Lei and Shi Yang. He asked in astonishment, who is this kid? Forefather, it's like this. Du Lei hurried to explain. When he mentioned that Shi Yang understood dark energy, Dragon Lizard shivered and his eyes shot light as dazzling as sunlight. If you can help me, you don't need to worry about the Earthgal tribe anymore. Also, we will give you the immortal pellet, said Dragon Lizard resolutely. To him, nothing was more important than breaking through to the Territory Ancestor realm. When he got dark energy and entered the Territory Ancestor realm, the Earthgal tribe's forefather was the one he could kill in any minute. Even if the Soul Clan wanted to battle against him, they would have to consider if it was worth their efforts or not. The Soul Clan has ambushed you. There's a divine weapon from the absolute beginning era in the stomach of your real body now. It's a 3-legged cauldron of the Soul Clan. Shi Yang looked at him and threw him more shocking news. If you don't join the Soul Clan this time, you'll die. That cauldron is a divine weapon that Singh has borrowed from an expert at the Territory Ancestor realm in his clan. It's for you, especially. Chapter 1383 Soul Refining Cauldron. Chapter 1383 Soul Refining Cauldron. _ You guys stay here. No one is allowed to take even one step out of here. A member of the Dragon Lizard clan took Audrey and the 3 warriors of the Heavenly Eye clan to a heavy guarded room. Dozens of Dragon Lizard clan guards stood and watched outside the room. They were the new guards that another leader of the Dragon Lizard clan had mobilized from another zone. This group of guards had at least 6 experts at the immortal realm. To them, they were a big threat. We're imprisoned. Iveline sighed and looked at the door with layers of barriers and the Dragon Lizard clan guards. He knew that they couldn't act freely anymore. Audrey wore a pure white dress, her face as calm as usual. She sat quietly in this spacious room and said, "Don't worry. As long as Shi Yang and Forefather Dragon Lizard find an agreement, we will be all right. I'm just afraid of unexpected events." Adams forced a smile. He understood the Dragon Lizard clan's deeds. If Shi Yang and Forefather Dragon Lizard had a good conversation, they would be all right. But if it went bad, the Dragon Lizard clan would hand them to the Earthgal tribe where they would be tortured to death. Everything depended on Shi Yang's means. Audrey was calm. Along the way here, she had always felt like a pair of eyes was watching them. Using her magical soul power to sense, she knew that Yun and Tu Shiqi were using their special method to observe them. As Tu Shiqi and Yun were from the mysterious Sky Clan, one of the 7 great clans, and were at 3rd sky of Immortal Realm, it wasn't going to be a problem to rescue them. She could vaguely feel that Tu Shiqi really appreciated the relationship with Shi Yang. If the situation got worse, these 2 members of the mysterious Sky Clan were going to interfere. She wasn't wrong about this. At this moment, Tu Shiqi and Yun were staying in their stone chamber. Tu Shiqi opened his eyes and laughed. "Well, the Dragon Lizard clan isn't really good. I got their location. I've also sent a wisp of soul consciousness there. If something happens, I'll know immediately." Hearing him, Yun could finally ease her restless mind. She said, "Maybe we don't need to take action. Right, as long as that kid can meet up with Dragon Lizard, things will change greatly. And we just need to wait patiently for Dragon Lizard's invitation," smiled Tu Shiqi. "We should prepare carefully. We must make Sing taste our power." Yun's eyes conveyed her savage intention. Dash. In a corner of Dragon Lizard's star, Sing was floating above countless departed souls and ghosts, his face dark and cold. The soul energy rippled from him fiercely. Underneath, so many ghosts were crying and screaming pathetically. A member of the Soul Clan like a dark shadow flew to him and said respectfully, "Commander, we got recent news that Barago of the Earthgal tribe is gone." Sing was awakened from his cultivation. He frowned and said impatiently, "What?" That futile Barago was sent to find the mysterious Sky Clan members, but he failed. I asked him to find something that could hypnotize souls and I've heard nothing from him yet. I don't care if he's gone or not. This sort of man doesn't deserve our attention. A subordinate of him reported that they had found a fascinating diving eye of the Heavenly Eye clan. They said that it could even fascinate the soul of the Immortal Realm experts. Barago was greedy for it. He took 3 clansmen with him to find them and he hasn't come back. His subordinate said that his life lamp had extinguished, explained the warrior. "What?" Sing was startled. A devil and strange light emerged in his eyes. The soul lamp extinguishing means his soul had vanished. The Earthgal tribe cultivates the secret technique from our clan. Unless they encountered some special technique, their souls can scatter and escape safely. Who did Barago encounter? Barago had 2nd sky of Immortal Realm cultivation base. Because of his relation to our clan, in this Dragon Lizard star, there is no one who would dare to attack them, and not many people have the competencies to do so. Recently, the Earthgal tribe tried to find 2 experts from the mysterious Sky Clan. Did he find something, which made someone kill him to shut his mouth? Assumed the guard. Sing's soul consciousness moved. Countless departed souls and wailing ghosts underneath came into his body under the black robe. He floated and drifted toward the Soul Clan warrior. He said, "You said Barago found the fascinating eye something. Do you think it can work?" From what that Earthgal tribe member had reported, it could work magically. Otherwise, Barago wouldn't have been so thrilled, answered the other. Sing pondered for a while. Perhaps the mysterious Sky Clan has their nose in this fascinating eye thing. I have to go talk to the Dragon Lizard clan to see what happened. Then, He turned into a black shadow and disappeared. Dash! The scorching lava pond deep underground, dragon lizard star. The clone of forefather dragon lizard was surprised as he looked at Shiyang. Kid, what are you talking about? I have a good friendship with Sing. Although I can't say we're soul mates, it's impossible that he would plot against me. On the way to this planet, we encountered a strange asteroid. We thought it. Shiyang took a deep breath, then told the others everything they had encountered on the way there. He had stressed on describing the features of the massive three-legged cauldron and the mysterious symbols on the cauldron. Du Lei was kneeling on the ground and listening to Shiyang in fear. He couldn't help but intervene. Forefather, from what he's saying, I'm afraid that the big cauldron is the soul refining cauldron of the Soul Clan. The soul refining cauldron is a divine weapon from the absolute beginning era. It can absorb the soul consciousness to create magical symbols, the language of the absolute beginning era. It's really formidable. After Shiyang had finished, forefather dragon lizard didn't say anything, but he changed his face when Du Lei intervened. At this moment, he didn't have the mood to ask about dark energy. Whether you told us the truth or not, I need to check it carefully. Then, his clone directly sank into the scorching lava pond. A terrifying groan arose deep inside the massive lava pond. It seemed like a giant beast was moving and releasing energy. A tremendous energy that could explode the entire dragon lizard star came from the lava pond. The planet had constant explosions as so many pieces of broken stars on its surface rumbled. They looked as if they could collapse in the next minute. If the soul refining cauldron was in his body, he could make the cauldron destroy his body from the inside and take in his soul as long as Sing wanted that to happen. Sing could kill him that way while increasing his cauldron's power altogether. The stronger the soul that it absorbed, the more terrifying the cauldron became. The reason why the expert at the territory ancestor realm of the Soul Clan let Sing borrow the weapon was to kill forefather dragon lizard to strengthen his divine weapon. No matter what, in the vast sea of stars, people at the peak of immortal realm were rare. Their souls were the top tonic for the soul refining cauldron. Grrr! An earth-shaking roar came from the lava pond. The clone of dragon lizard emerged at once. He looked ashen as green veins bulged on his forehead like wiggling worms. He looked so furious. Forefather, called Du Lei. This kid is right. I found a foreign item in my body. It must be the soul refining cauldron of the Soul Clan. I can't take it out now. I don't want to alert the enemy. It would make Sing attack me first. Forefather dragon lizard had his flame of rage burst up into the sky. After so many years, he had always considered Sing a friend. He wanted to create a good relationship with the Soul Clan. He hadn't shown his intention to join the Soul Clan because he still embraced the hope of obtaining a true understanding of dark energy by exchanging the immortal pellets. If he couldn't get dark energy afterward, he would consider joining the Soul Clan. Dragon Lizard hadn't expected Sing to prepare so well for this trip. He didn't come with a goodwill at all. The soul refining cauldron was his black hand. If Dragon Lizard still lingered, he would become a sacrifice for that divine weapon of the Soul Clan. How could he not be outraged? It's troublesome to take it out of my body without Sing recognizing it. I want to think carefully to find a way to do that. Although forefather Dragon Lizard was extremely hot-tempered, he calmed down pretty quickly. He began to think about a method to solve this big problem. If you want to kill Sing, someone can help you. Yeah. If you don't mind, I can introduce 2 experts to you. They also want Sing dead. Moreover, they can assure you that you don't need to be afraid of the Soul Clan's revenge after that. It's an assurance to your Dragon Lizard clan. Shiyang smiled and offered at the right time. Forefather Dragon Lizard was surprised. Kid, it seems like you have a plan. Tell me. Who do you want to introduce to me? How about the mysterious Sky Clan? Shiyang said in a low-pitched voice. The eyes of Dragon Lizard sparkled in a strange light. He pondered for a while and grasped the key point. He laughed. Oh, are they Tu Shiqi and his wife Yayun? Sing and the members of the Earth Gal tribe told us to find them. It seems like Sing has attacked them hard. I knew I can't deceive Forefather, Shiyang smiled. He knew a monster like Forefather Dragon Lizard wasn't a fool. Singh could only furtively attack him because he had a powerful divine weapon and a lucky timing. He did that when Dragon Lizard was having a meal. Apparently, he had planned it for a long time. Otherwise, it wasn't easy to attack this old monster. As Singh had to use the absolute beginning divine weapon, he was also afraid of Forefather Dragon Lizard. Dragon Lizard could understand a situation after only 2 or 3 sentences. If Singh wants to harm me, how can I let him enjoy himself that much? Harumph, I will make him know the price of plotting against me. Although the soul refining cauldron is an absolute beginning divine weapon, I know it, so don't think they can kill me. Then, Dragon Lizard turned to Shuyang. Alright, take the other 2 to see me. I want to talk to them carefully. Shuyang now knew Forefather Dragon Lizard wanted to kill Singh too. This area was Dragon Lizard Star, his territory. If they got his approval, everything was going to be convenient. They're staying in. Shuyang told Du Lei the location of Tu Shiqi's cave. Du Lei was very surprised. Now, he knew that the ones Shuyang had mentioned were the 2 experts of the mysterious Sky Clan. Forefather Dragon Lizard had ordered him to invite Tu Shiqi and his wife, so Du Lei left respectfully. Alright, now tell me about dark energy. As soon as he left, Forefather Dragon Lizard had a dazzling light shoot out of his eyes as he gazed at Shuyang. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.